think we are good. Go any moment. Seems like we are live. Yeah, there we go. Getting everything set up. We will get going. Pop the chat over there. And let's finish getting a new set of armor for Adachi.
Aloha.
Let's hope it was just 70,000 for the wedding shoes. 70,700. Literally $20 short
Thank
of
you.
Adachi's fancy wedding shoes.
Off we go.
Let's go win literally any fight that unlocks some shoes for this character. Literally anyone will do. We'll go beat them up. Hey, Tara. How you doing? And we'll get down ever so slightly. There it'll do.
Don't go so fast.
Spent too long on Dondoko Island. I keep trying to do Dondoko Island controls to move around. I'm not there anymore. We've left Dondoko Island behind. Okay.
Aloha.
Fancy wedding shoes. Yes, equip them. Adachi.
Thank you.
Punch a random guy for money. Not picking a fight over shoes. Look, sometimes you gotta pick a fight over shoes. Sometimes you really need those shoes. And you really need like $20. And you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so we're starting today. We now have Namba and Adachi in the party again. I am very quickly running around to start doing friendship quests with the two of them because I want to max out those friendships. I gotta max out those social bonds.
Oh man, what's wrong? Not a cold?
No. Felt my heart stop for a second though. But you know, I hope the girls I left back in Japan miss me if I actually do kick the bucket. Just thinking of them in mourning makes my heart ache.
I am seriously impressed by how melodramatic you can get, just from one sneeze.
You flatter me.
We're really opening up.
Friendship! I don't think we've seen any of Namba's friendship points yet. It's all been Adachi ones so far. Is this another... I have no idea whose one this is. We'll head there and find it out. Dandelion says, Izzy just told me you were live with Laura looks like she's beating up people with a rocket-powered spaceship, so I'm guessing things are going well. Oh, that'd be the rocket surfboard. That would be the cyber surfboard I've been beating people up with, that one. Tara says, my time out of the hospital was short-lived. I'm back in the hospital, it'll probably be a couple of days. That is rough, I am sorry to hear. I wish you all the best. Being in and out of hospital unpredictably is not fun. I am a sleepy little bean. I fell asleep. I had a little nap on the sofa after dinner tonight, because it's been a long day. It's been a long week. I was giving a talk for University of Birmingham, like Birmingham City University. My talk started at 9 AM. I gave a 90-minute talk about video game accessibility at like 9 in the morning, and then I had a whole bunch of other work things going on during the day. I had my dinner and then fell asleep for a while, and I had to wake myself up and go, yeah, I'm here, stream, doing the stream. This week is full of many, many deadlines. I'm giving like 3 different talks this week, and they're all on different topics, so my brain is melting.
I've been seeing more folks on their laptops and cafes doing work and stuff. That's pretty common in Japan, too.
I mean, I guess we're in an age when you don't have to settle on doing your work in only one place. I mean, I can't do it personally. I don't like the idea of someone peeking over at my screen.
Oh, you mean for security reasons? I respect that.
Exactly. Heck, I even change up all my passwords. These hackers got nothing on me.
Do you even remember them all?
Nope. Honestly, I've been pretty forgetful lately. So, I just Just end up brute forcing my way in by trying every single combination I can think of.
Well, that doesn't sound very secure.
All right.
Active criticism, don't worry. We'll go and try and rescue Kiryu slash Joryu slash Suzuki slash whatever he's calling himself these days. We'll do some friendship bingo, and then we'll go find Kiryu and hope that the cancer ain't got him yet. Andy H says, saw someone has been given 217 COVID vaccines and immediately thought of you. They won't let me have 217 COVID vaccines. No, apparently 8 or however many it was I had. That's the upper limit. Too many. We won't give you any more experimental vaccines. You've had too many experimental COVID jabs. You've been too much of a science helper. Stop helping with science, or so they say, it would seem. I joke. Hey, Artisanth. Hey, Gumba Master. Right. Let's go. Ooh. I'm gonna keep doing these battles that I can just like press the L2 button and win. If for no other reason than each time I do one of these I get like $20-$30, which is enough that I can pay for my next taxi ride to the next friendship social link location I'm heading to. No, it's not here. Okay, where... Social link. Where are you? How do I get to you? Behind here. Do I have to go the other way around? Tara says, listen to the Dice Funk episode and Barbella trying to recall the last adventure to Hallion was something I couldn't stop laughing at. Look, sometimes a person is present for events that they don't fully remember. Like, some things happened. I think we did some stuff. I'm not entirely sure. Did we do that? Who knows? Look, she's there to hit stuff and to tell riddles, and beyond that, thinking is hard. Incompetent Hero says, Happy Wednesday, Citrus Bitches. If you could design a Sujimon, what would it be? I'd make an old-style milkman named Udder Buddy. That sure is one. Udder Buddy. Is it this buddy? No, it's the other buddy.
The shave ice here looks so good. Gonna have to swing by later.
Yeah, back in
Terry,
Japan,
yes,
when
character
we were
choice
having
and not
festivals,
just me being
I always
forgetful
got
as
the
fuck.
blue Hawaii feeling. I ended up associating the color blue with Hawaii because of that.
Oh, same here. For some reason, I also thought that blue equals Hawaii just made sense.
Is that so? Maybe it was just us being young and impressionable at the time. But you know, after seeing Hawaii firsthand ourselves... Well,
Okay, I know what my
the
Sujimon
ocean
would
and
be.
the skies,
I'll
they're
tell you
both
in a
such
second.
Beautiful blue.
Yeah, I guess so. Now we finally know why Hawaii's gotta be blue.
Okay,
Right on. Hey, come on, man. Let's explore all of Hawaii.
I don't know what the
Let's go to
evolution
place.
line would be called.
Well, only if you don't feel too blue after throwing your money down the drain.
Okay, the default form would hide in a bin, much like the one behind us, and would jump out wearing like all black with like just a little bit to see through at the eyes. They would be called Binja. They would be the Bin Ninja. And like I feel like the evolved form would be in like one of the big yellow dumpster in the back. I don't know what you would call them. I don't have a good ninja slash dumpster pun yet. Trash Panda would work. I like Binja, but Trash Panda's good. Right, where else can we go for social links? Is it just Adachi? I think it is only Adachi social links we currently have access to.
You know what those stalls make me think of? Turkish ice cream.
Ooh, the stretchy kind. Yeah, it looks tasty. Do they have any at the stands?
Maybe. The thing is, though, you know those tricks they do? Snatching the ice cream away?
Oh yeah, that's fun. Sometimes you just get an empty cup.
I want to beat them at it.
You want to what?
Yeah, me too.
Binjutsu
I feel like I could
Master
take 'em.
would be good.
Adachi-san.
When you spin
Shinobin.
the cup, that's when you grab it.
I've tried a few different strategies. Nothing's worked. There's gotta be a way. If we work together, we can do it.
Okay, let's show them we're not idiots. Tose, you in?
I just wanted some ice cream.
Okay, yeah, we could totally come up with a series of bin pun related bin ninja. You could get an evolution line of 3 bin ninjas. Easily done.
Let's take it for a spin.
Shinobin is great. Okay, I'll fight this lot purely because this guy's still not... I still not raised my friendship level with him. I need to see what job class level I'm at as the Aquamonster or whatever it is. Also, I need to work out whether I'm swapping Namba and Adachi's job classes at all, or if we're leaving them as their... We'll leave them as their default for now. Dandelion, I feel like Naughty Nurse is just Namba. I feel like Namba is just that job class. Or that Tsuchimon. I ran the wrong way. I'm supposed to be going this way.
I could take on anything.
Not trying to beat me up, all of Hawaii. He needs to wear a sexy nurse's outfit. Okay, we put Namba in, like, the short skirt and like, sexy tailored scrubs.
That's weird.
Is that better?
What's up, Adachi-san?
According to the map on my phone, the store I wanted to visit was right here. I'm not seeing it, though.
Could have gone out of business.
I thought of that, but I made sure they were still running. Even checked that they were open this time of day.
Maybe your phone's GPS is bugging.
These assholes. They charge more for phones each year and the tech's still this faulty.
I'd been meaning to mention, Adachi-san. Are you holding your phone upside down?
Huh?
Adachi is like
you're the one who's tech.
a little more aware of tech than I would imagine him being at his age.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to think that only the rich could vacation in Hawaii.
Same here. But now it feels like pretty much anyone can take a trip out here.
Maybe Hawaii being some...
Gumba Master, yes, I have had a chance. I will talk about Final Fantasy VII in a minute.
Just means it's getting easier to go wherever you want. Honestly, I wouldn't have even been here if things didn't turn out the way they did.
Well, whatever the case, here we are. Let's just enjoy it while we can.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, how about we get ourselves some Bennett's and souvenirs?
Now that's real old school. Where do they even sell those nowadays?
No clue. I'd settle for a dashboard hula girl then.
Whatever you want, old man.
Yeah,
Alright.
so I'm deliberately, like, not streaming Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Me and Jane are playing through it, me and my lovely wife Jane are playing through it in our own time. This is just one of those games where it's like, we're going to make time and play it together, and we're not going to play it separately, it's just going to be our game to play through together, which means, like, I'm not going to finish it as quickly as I would if I was powering through it for work. We're just enjoying going through it together. We are, I think, like 20 or so hours in. We did like one big play session on the Wednesday night and then played most of this most recent weekend. We've made it to the not quite Hawaii area. And we've, up until there, we've done every side quest in all the big open areas we've been to. We've sort of 100%ed those. We talk about it on Podquisition tomorrow. I keep wanting to compare Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to this game we are playing right now, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, because there is an area that's basically Hawaii. You can ride around on segways, and there are weirdly in-depth side quests that like are plot relevant, and there is a weirdly large amount of gameplay in them, and they have like complete original unique new art assets to go do weird silly little side quests. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the most like a Yakuza game that the Final Fantasy series has ever felt. Okay, Gumba Master felt the same way as well. Yeah. I will say 3 words to you that are describing a minigame that exists in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but that could have described a Yakuza minigame, and I'm pretty sure if I told you it was a Yakuza minigame, you would have all have believed me. And those 3 words are Dog Rocket League. Dog Rocket League. Rocket League but dogs. That's a Yakuza minigame, right? No, it's a Final Fantasy minigame. Is there an equivalent of Sujimon? what I don't want to spoil too many of them. I can talk about one that's like pretty. It's been shown off in trailers. There is a card game called Queen's Blood, which, you know, there's a whole, like, you can go on your whole little tournament arc trying to become the best in the world at this card game. The moment where I started wanting to compare it to shit like Sujimon and Dondoko Island was, and again, I'm gonna be vague with this. Somewhere pretty close to 20 hours in, I beat a guy at this fantasy card game, and then I started having a vision. And I'm not going to tell you what happens in the vision that I started having. But because I beat this guy at a card game, I'm going to tell you a thing from an anime that feels very similar. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game anime, in one of its early seasons, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Pegasus, who saw these ancient stone tablets in Egypt and made them into cards, but then was like, he has this moment of, oh my god, what have I done? I've brought the monsters back into the real world. I created the god cards, and now the power of real gods is back in the world, and I've done something terrible by creating this card game. Yeah, something like that happened when I beat a guy at a little fantasy card game in Final Fantasy, and that was the moment where I was like, okay, like 20 hours in, you're starting to turn this into a Sujimon side quest. I'm here for it. Yeah. Somehow playing a children's card game has caused me to become severely injured. Exactly, Basin is back. So, yeah, without, you know, spoiling too much, that's my general review currently of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Is they sure did Yakuza up that Final Fantasy a bit, and I'm very into it. Genuinely fucking love Queen's Blood. Queen's Blood is great. Those of you who have played will know what I'm getting at here, but the second side quest for getting a proto relic, the proto relic you get before the second area, that has like a whole mini game of its own. That's fucking great. That's great.
Oh, hey, payphone. Don't see these too often in Japan either.
Well, most everyone's got a cell phone these days, so there's not much demand anymore.
You know, I used to collect telephone cards back in the day, actually. Pop idols on them.
All right, that was a thing. You were big on collecting, Adachi-san?
I was, yeah. Until a coworker swiped one of my rare cards. Got a hole punched in the card from when he used it. That was the last straw.
That was pretty common back then.
That whole debacle punched a hole in my heart, too. Made me stop collecting entirely. Promise me, Kasuga. Promise me you'll never use another man's phone card without consent.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sure, Adachi.
But when am I ever gonna use one now? We're really opening up.
Okay, right. Let's see. How many more of these do we have to go collect? This is us going to try and get back Kiryu, so I want to try and avoid that one as best I can. Go get it last. This isn't going to take us long. Within, I reckon, the next like 10-15 minutes, we'll probably be progressing the plot again. Right, let's get our last little bits of Adachi friendship going. Can you even get phone cards these days? I'm guessing yes, but they're hard to find. I genuinely don't know. I have no sense of anything to do with public payphones anymore. They might as well not exist as far as my awareness of them goes. I'm gonna feed this cat. Have some cat food. That cat is now our friend. It gave us an infatuation bomb. Hell yeah.
Are those hibiscus flowers? They sure are pretty.
Did you know they symbolize trust, according to Japanese flower language?
Oh yeah? I'm surprised you knew that.
Nah, I read it from a book way back. Wanted to catch a hostess's attention, see?
You really went the distance. Did you learn any other flower meanings?
Well, what I remember for sure is the slipper flower.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool. What's it mean?
Hey, Thimba.
I'll surrender everything I have to you. Don't keep me in suspense, Kasuga.
Yeah, you're only getting a flower and nothing else, man. All right.
Gumbo Master says, you know, I imagine Kasuga having the physical bingo cards for these. Oh, 1000%. Ichiban, like, he has these bingo cards in his pocket. He's like, I learned something about Ichiban and his feelings for the ladies. Tick. Ooh, a unique trait. I learnt that about Adachi today. Danielin says, the care home I'm going to has 2 cats. I'm hoping one of them visits me. I hope so too. Also, I am impressed at this cat's just, like, not being phased at all by the rain. This looks fairly similar to one of my cats. To my cat, the current cat I have. I've had other cats. This looks not that far off from Smudge. Timber says, wait, is Adachi in this game? Yeah, if you missed the end of last stream, here's the gist. Adachi was at the start. We went to Japan, left him behind. Last stream, we finally, like, made a bunch of plot happen. The short version, there's a guy called the Overseer who controls all of the gangs that have been attacking us here in Hawaii. That guy is Bryce, the leader of the Palicana, the sort of charity / religion organization. They're trying to get Ichiban's mum, because she ran off with some kid from the orphanage, because somehow that kid could destroy Bryce's control over all of Hawaii. So, like, she grabbed the kid and got out of there. Kiryu started having cancer real fucking bad. Started coughing up blood, got caught by one of the gangs. So, we gotta go rescue Kiryu. Adachi and Namba showed up. There you go. Had to leave the stream to do some talks. Some tasks. ETH Demon says cult, it's a cult. No, I'm not calling them a cult, because I think, like, other than... I will concede that Bryce is a cult leader. He is brainwashing people, he is doing, like, culty shit. But I will also say that the existing religion that exists and their charitable status, I think, is largely not cult-esque. I think that he is using it as a breeding ground to go create his own little sub-cult. I think the religion itself, I don't think it's fair to call a cult. Yeah. So, some guy has taken control of a religion to create a small cult. He's using the religion to build a small cult. The religion itself is not a cult. Oh yeah, Tomizawa pulled off a badass car rescue as well, yeah. I'm just double checking. Yeah, there was a fire. Kiryu couldn't get in the car. He was fighting off guys while coughing up cancer blood. Where are we going? Let's go get this one up here. But that's the gist of it. Adachi and Namba are back. They're gonna go help us kick some ass and go rescue Kiryu any minute now. I know that he's literally dying of cancer and has been kidnapped. But friendship bingo is more important, though, I think.
I love the weather here. It's not so much humid or comfortably dry.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't get too exhausted, even when it's blazing hot out.
And the rainy season in Japan, on the other hand, gets so humid, it really brings me down.
Oh, you're not good with humidity, Adachi-san?
Oh, not me. My hair. You see, my hair gets all frizzy when it's humid, even after I touch it up that same morning. I mean, it ruins my rugged good looks, you know? Real bad for business, too.
I totally get how you feel. Wait, what business? We're really opening up.
Okay, we are doing good on Adachi friendship bingo. We are absolutely nailing this friendship. Is it just this one here we've got left to do now? The one that is right near where the plot is? Because if so, cool. We'll go do the plot. I will resist the urge to go back to the bar and, like, actually do his friendship links. Although I could just go back to the bar and do his friendship links. Oh, let's do it. Let's go back and do the friendship links. Thimba says, early today there was a small Xbox partner preview showcase, and if you all didn't feel Palworld, you may want to take a look at Creatures of Ava. Yes, I know there is a creature collecting RPG of some kind that got shown off during that. I had some work deadlines going on. I didn't stream the showcase. I've heard good things. I haven't seen haven't seen the footage yet. Right. Let's quickly do some Adachi conversations. Oh, can I not do social? Have I not got any social links to do with them? Oh, it's Chitose I've got social links to do with. Apparently, I got a drink link with Chitose. Okay, I'm trying to remember the gist of where we were at with her. There's an old guy that was like her, sent out to chaperone her. She kind of gave him the slip. He's an old guy. She's been trying to avoid him. He's been like, hey, where you at? Are you okay? What's up? And she's been trying to avoid that whole situation. I think that's where we're at.
Yo, Chichan. Something the matter?
Oh, hey. Did you hear everything?
Nah, didn't hear a thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I was on the phone with Gramps, and apparently he heard a pretty disturbing rumor.
Ooh, what kind?
Don't tell me it was about you.
Yep. It's kinda old news now, but word got out that I got into District 5 by stealing someone's passport. I guess it's not so much a rumor, you know, since it's true.
Someone's passport, you say? You mean mine?
It doesn't really matter whose. Anyway, he heard about how I was looking for the Barracuda's hideout.
His
That's
his whole job is
bridge
to make
now.
sure you're safe
Can't
out
you
here,
just tell him it
so...
was someone else?
I did. But Gramps is still distraught because the young lady in the rumor sounds just like me.
Is that because it's you?
And now he won't believe a single word I say.
Wait, hold up. How did your Gramps even hear about these rumors? I thought he didn't know anyone here in Hawaii.
I probably underestimated him on that front. He's so polite.
I mean,
You
all
can
we
strike
had
up
to
a
do to find out about
conversation
you was
just
ask
about
Taco
anyone.
Jeff.
Before I knew
It's
it,
not that
he made
hard.
himself a friend. Said Jeff told him all about the rumors.
Jeff again. See, exactly. Just ask Jeff. Jeff is the only one you have to ask to find out what Chitose's up to. You're like, hey, Jeff, at the taco truck. Where's Chitose now? He's always got the gossip.
Jeff? As in taco guy, Jeff? The one selling stolen goods?
Yep, the very same. Gramps loved his tacos so much, he's been getting them for lunch.
Incompetent hero, to be clear. She didn't use Ichiban's passport to pretend she was Ichiban. This particular District 5 is a very crime-filled area, and if you give them a stolen passport, they will let you in. They will take that stolen passport and doctor it to look like someone else's and sell it on. So, like, they'll cut your photo out of it and paste someone else's photo in. The easiest way to make a fake passport is to take a real passport and fuck it up.
Even though he knows that Jeff
She was not trying to
is
pretend
shady,
she was
he still
him.
enjoys talking
She was
to
just like, here's a legitimate
Yeah,
passport you can
Former
fuck
martial
around with.
artist, a Fujinomiya butler, and a smooth talker at his age.
I honestly didn't see this coming. Gramps is actually driving me into a corner.
Let's get him on our team. Extra party member.
We could try bringing him to our side. A former martial artist would make a great ally.
I mean, a stolen passport is a financially
Real.
valuable thing.
He's
It's
not at the age to be
payment.
doing
It's
this kind of stuff.
I'm not a
He's
narc.
77.
Have something worth money.
Yeah, true. I just figured if he was one of us, he'd keep your secrets all hush-hush.
Well, I doubt he's gonna find me anytime soon, so I'm trying not to panic right now.
Yeah, let the old guy on the
Wait a
team.
sec. Aren't you worried he'll wind up in danger somehow?
What do you mean?
I mean, your Gramps heard that you went to District 5, right? But since you're not fessing up, what do you think he'll do next?
Probably go to District 5.
I don't know.
I'd make my way to District 5 so I could get to the bottom of this.
What?
And once I got my hands on some proof, I'd ask you to tell me the truth.
But there's no way Gramps could just wander into
Are
a
you
place
sure?
Like that.
Are you
He's
sure
gotta
about
steal
that?
a passport, or find some dirty cop willing to get you in.
Right, but your Gramps wouldn't know about any of that. He's just gonna try his
He's gonna
damnedest
knock on the
to trace
door and be
your
like,
steps.
Chitose, you in there?
There's some barracudas hanging around. I don't know if you'll come out entirely unscathed.
Yeah, for sure. Well, crap. I better try calling him back.
Just to have a
I
conversation
have
with
to
the
tell him
guy.
that if he's thinking about heading to District 5, don't.
It's nice that he's worried about you, though, right?
I'm sure your Gramps is real touched that you're worrying over him this much, though. If I were ever a butler, I'd feel that way.
Back in the day, you wouldn't have to worry over him so much. But he's not young anymore. He spoiled me for practically my entire life. So I should at least try to return the favor.
Sounding real inspiring today, Chi-chan.
Maybe because I am. Never thought there'd be a day where I'm the one worrying about him. All of that just made me realize how much time has passed.
You better remember this feeling, because in times like this, a good drink really hits the spot.
Didn't know that. Guess I'll have to give it a try.
For sure.
Okay. Wondering if the butler is meant to be based on Higgins, who was the butler in Magnum P.I., which was set in Hawaii. I genuinely don't know. But, spoilers, we will see the butler at some point. If you know how to recognize Higgins, you can tell us whether this appears to be Higgins when we meet him. Okay, so let's go get this last social link, and then narrative. We will progress the plot at least a little. Oh, wait. Okay, this way. Ah, I know where we're going. We're going to Crime Alley. The alley where crime sometimes happens. Everyone's favorite spot, Crime Alley.
Dolls and
What do you want? Oh, noise! Full power!
Yeah, I have basically no money right now because I spent all of my... I did a little bit of grinding Dondoko Island, and I grinded just enough to get Adachi a new set of armor. Adachi now has a wedding tiara, wedding dress, and wedding shoes. Because, you know, he deserves them. Ooh. Actually, yeah, let's pop some of these on. Metal brooch will do. But yes, I'm slowly getting everyone the wedding armor set. But every now and then I'm like, oops, I did it too quickly and now I have no money for a minute.
Hey, check out that thrift shop. That is one sweet jacket.
You're a pretty
Crime
big
Alley
American
is where
person,
Batman's
son.
parents were killed,
Oh, yeah?
yes.
Well, American movies did have a huge influence on my generation. Oh man, there was one about a fighter pilot that made waves back in the day. Yeah, I bought me the same jacket as the guy and went around airports listening to the score. Man, that takes me back.
Adachi would be
I was
really
so
into
young
Top
and
Gun.
naive.
You have real good taste in clothes, though. So, what happened to that jacket?
Well, I gained weight, so it doesn't fit me anymore. I used to be thin as a rail
Doing
back
the
then.
Doing the procedurally generated dungeon gets you a lot of money once you're a high enough level to reliably do, like, the second or third stage of it. When you're early enough that that's not really an option, Dondoko Island is, for my money, the easier way of getting some cash.
Damn, we're so close now.
Criminale. Cass, I'm sure that there probably is fan art of the party members in the wedding gear. If there's not, I will be disappointed. That art should exist. And if I were better at art, I would make it happen.
Place is more dumpy than I'd expected.
It's definitely not the ritziest part of town. Still, Hawaii's nightlife practically lives here, and Yamai's gang controls every inch. As you can imagine, there's a lot of Japanese folk.
And Yamai's cronies? Where do we find them?
Hey, we wander around enough, and they'll find us. If you recall, I'm already on their shit list for being a deserter.
You okay, Tommy? You don't look too happy right now.
I'm good. Actually, I'm more worried about Kiryu-san at the moment.
Aww.
Ichiban, there's a tattoo shop just ahead. The lady who runs the place happens to be an old friend of mine. Real in the know gal. She's no spring chicken, and she treats Yamai and his gang like a bunch of kids. He even respects her for it.
Meaning?
Meaning, if she knows something, Yamai's rat pack ain't gonna scare her out of talking.
Ooh.
No kidding.
You're suggesting
Let's
she
stop
might
by.
know where Mum is? Maybe. Where Akane-san is hanging out. Come, inform us, tattoo lady. Anem0 says, wander around until the people who want me dead show up. Tomi really could be a primary Like a Dragon protagonist. See what I'm saying? If Kiryu was never a protagonist in the series again after this, and they wanted a new action protagonist for the series while Ichiban's doing the RPGs, I genuinely think Tomizawa could be that new Like a Dragon protagonist. I think we could do Tomizawa spin-offs, and that would be fine.
Welcome in.
Hey there. My friends and I
The
have a
more I
quick
play
question
of this,
for
the
you.
more convinced
Got
I
a
am
sec?
of it.
You guys aren't customers?
Sorry, just me.
Tomizawa. You've got guts showing your face around here. Yamai's gonna drag you through the street.
I'm sure he'd like to. Anyway, look, Yamai's holding a friend of ours captive. What do you think? You hear anything about that?
Couldn't tell you. Yakuza don't bring nothing but trouble.
Honestly, anything would
I
help.
would let this
This guy
woman do
Yamai's guy,
my
he's
tattoos.
done
I trust
everything
her.
for me.
She's got good vibes.
He's really sick, and he needs our help fast.
Sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Yamai's goons are here.
I'll be. So Hawaii's boys are keeping the classic Yakuza duo alive and well, eh?
I'd say it goes well beyond just the haircut.
Appreciate the heads up. We'll see if these guys know anything.
Be my guest.
You got a lot of nerve running your mouth on someone else's turf.
Hey, another surprise. A Hawaiian Yakuza with a Hiroshima twang.
It's a dying breed even back in Japan. Crazy to think such an endangered species would find its way out here.
I'm tempted to cobble together a Photoshop of Laura with Ichiban's hair turned blue. Laura Kasagama's.
But let's not die here,
Ha.
okay?
Kiryu-san's friends are here.
This chump's got some guts, doesn't he? Let's rip him out. Bring it on. Okay.
Okay, we're just gonna fuck these guys up real quick. Oh, I keep forgetting I should check what job level Ichiban's up to.
I may talk
I'll try and
big, but
remember
at
after
least
this
I can back
cutscene.
it up, asshole.
Shut your yap. I ain't finished with you yet.
Cut the crap and tell me where Kiryu-san is. Or do you want to get knocked around a little more?
Come on, spit it out. Let's both walk out of here in one piece.
All right, fine. The theater building.
Theater building?
I know it. Yeah, see, it's right over there. It used to be a big playhouse. Yamai runs things from the top floor now. You know, if you were gonna trap Kiryu-san somewhere, it really isn't a bad choice.
I'll say, especially if Yamai's in there. But it's crawling with his boys, too.
Yeah, but that won't stop me.
It's killing me.
I actually slept well last night.
Right, let's remember to do this. Let's check. What do I check? Jobs. What job level are you, Ichiban? You are job level 17. We're only 8 levels of whatever that... away from whatever that ability people wanted me to unlock was. I'll stick with this job class for now. I do want to swap to Sujimatsu, but that's apparent. We'll do it once we've unlocked the thing. Right, let's go. Yamai, let us into your place and give us back Ichiban. We need him for cool karaoke moments. Nah, if I'm gonna try and get this moveset, I'm not gonna... I'll just
Tell me,
stick with it.
Kiryu-san's probably
At least
pretty well
from
guarded,
there.
right?
Yeah, if you ask me, best bet's the top floor. Only Yamai's confidants can get in there. And I've only been up there a handful of times myself.
You've had run-ins with our buddy Yamai before, right? What's he like?
Well, he's tough as nails, that's for sure. More than anything, he's just plain eerie. You never know what that guy's thinking. It's the eyes. You don't get a stare like that without some crazy story behind it.
Regular devil, huh? Guess we better watch our backs then.
Yeah, but there's more. He's got some kind of weird charm. Loyal bunch like them's hard to come by.
I see. Sounds like we showed up in the nick of time.
You sure did. And man, am I glad. Okay, let's rumble!
Get serious. Let's go.
Prepare yourself! Surprise!
Let's do it.
Stop trying to light Molotovs. I'm going to kick your asses before you have a chance to use them anyway.
Okay, I'm up.
Actually, keep trying to do Molotovs. That gives me a turn to defeat you before you do any damage to me. That's actually very helpful for me. Go, go, go. Cabaret El Dorado.
Well, look who it is. Little pansy Tomizawa in the flesh.
You damn traitor! Like you got any business coming back here!
Hey, slow your roll, pal. I'm not stoked about it either. But for all I'm not, I at least know one thing. I'd never leave my friends behind.
Right, he sounds like a Yakuza protagonist
Well
right now,
said,
doesn't
Tony.
he?
No, fuck off! You wanna be brave?
I'm gonna kick the door down and be like, yeah, but I'm not gonna leave my friends behind. That's the most Yakuza thing a Yakuza can do.
Okay, I'm up.
You got your back. Cock up, Dickler. You're in it now.
Prepare yourself!
Okay.
On me!
Bees! Death by bees.
I'm up.
Right, toward the top floor. Lead us, Tomizawa. Where are we heading? Gotta find a staircase. Do not risk being ambushed. I think that makes sense. Let's grab that item.
So, their hideout's the theater itself, huh? Don't see that every day.
Not like there's customers. No way with how they treat the place.
Yeah, they've been using it a while now. It's basically their playground. Never know when they'll show up. Watch your back, yeah.
In it for the long haul.
Okay, they want to pick a fight with us. We can do that. Have a nice little fight on the stage. Give everyone an audience. Ah, screw it. Laser beam. Laser everyone.
Yeah. Hope this
Oh, they survived the big group laser. I should probably take them a little more seriously if they can withstand orbital space laser.
Okay, I'm up. Perfect for you.
Okay, you're the big threat. We've got a couple more party members, a couple more of these we can just take out in one go. Minimize the number of people we've got left to fight.
Have fun with this. Hope this hurts.
Pigeons! Oh, targeted the wrong person. I was trying to target that one that was right on death's door before he could throw this Molotov he's just thrown. Guilty Badger says I should take them a bit seriously if they can survive orbital space lasers as essence of certain types of RPGs. I mean, look, if I fired in the real world an orbital space laser at someone and they survived, I would know they weren't fucking around. They meant serious business, probably. You know, I wouldn't multitask in that fight. I'd put my phone down and go, okay, I'll give you my full attention. 13 damage for that Molotov that took 2 turns to throw was maybe a bad use of turns by the enemy. Yeah, well, here's the thing. He didn't know that Ichiban secretly has a tiara and wedding dress and wedding shoes underneath this outfit. Famously, very fireproof items of clothing. Like, I'm essentially wearing asbestos armor under here. Okay. Oh, Thimba says yesterday was my birthday. Happy belated birthday. And surprisingly, was the best one in a long time. I got gifted 2 games. What games did you get gifted? I'm glad it was a good one. Yeah, brides are notoriously fireproof. As a bride myself, I got one of them wedding rings. I can tell you that yes, brides are famously fireproof. Have you ever seen a bride on fire on their wedding day? No, because they're fireproof. Feels like survivorship bias. Well, look, I don't know the science behind it, but I've never seen a bride on fire on their wedding day, and therefore I think we should send firefighters into fires wearing wedding dresses. I think my logic is foolproof. Poor dress to my wedding did not go on fire once. Exactly! Ooh, Balatro and Ruiner. But I've been hearing a lot of good things about Balatro. It is on my list of games to try once I get this current big work week out the way. Once I finish all of the various talks I'm trying to do, and a secret writing project, and a secret game-related project, and all that shit. I can talk a bit about what I'm doing. Actually, I think one of the things I'm doing is a thing that people who aren't at the place will be able to see. I did a talk for University of Birmingham City today, which I think was just for university students. But I'm doing a talk tomorrow that I think's being streamed. Doing a panel talk for the RNIB, the Royal National Institute of the Blind. I am the token non-blind person on gaming accessibility panel they're doing. I did when they reached out to me, I did confirm and go, just checking. I can see. You're all right with me being here. I'm not taking up space that is not mine to take. And they were like, yeah, it's cool. I was like, cool. Okay. Gotta find the master key somewhere to keep going up. There we go. But yeah, I think the RNIB talk is being shared. Yes, there's been a week of lots and lots of doing talks and preparing talks. Incompetent Hero says, there's a reason Alanis Morissette said, it's like rain on your wedding day. It's ironic because you'd assume fire would be the issue. Yeah, no, the talk I did today, like, was like an hour plus Q&A. I wrote a 9,000 word talk and then delivered it in an hour. I made 9,000 words come out of my mouth in an hour. Going like, hey, here's the entire history of video game accessibility over many decades wedged into one little talk. Any area... Oh yeah, Number was on low HP. That's on me. I was not paying proper attention. Number should be being healer right now. That's on me for just, like, not paying attention to the stats because I was looking at chat and stuff. This dungeon sub-boss says, now for some reason determined to be on fire at at many future wedding ceremonies, just to provide the outlier in the data. Thrice Flaming Bride is a statistical outlier and should not be counted. And Goblin Hero says, did you start your talk with the first 30 years were terrible? Weirdly, no. I started by talking about Bertie the Brain, a 1950s electronic tic-tac-toe machine that you played against an AI opponent that had customizable difficulty, which is important because tic-tac-toe is essentially a solved game. Did you know, fun fact, the Sega Saturn, any video game published for the Sega Saturn had 2 accessibility settings that were requirements that Sega would not let your game be published on Sega Saturn if it didn't have these 2 accessibility features, which were button remapping and subtitles. If your game lacked either of those, Sega would not let you put it on the Sega Saturn. The first example of a publisher mandating accessibility features as mandatory if you wanted to be published.
On to the next level. Nice. Hell yeah.
It's cool. We survived. It's all good. Yeah, Number, do you have your healing skills now? Yeah, you do. You got stashed bottle. We're all good. Yeah. Off we go. Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting bits of early video game accessibility history that you wouldn't think of from those early years that are they're just interesting. Oh, where did I come from? This way? Did I get the key I was looking for? I guess not. Did I? Right. I forget subtitles are an accessibility thing. It's essentially the default now. I mean, it's only really been as much of a default as it has been since 2018, which was, I believe, when Ubisoft did their whole thing of publishing... Sorry, I'm looking for this master key that's somewhere around here. Is it in here? No. Where they were like, hey, in games where subtitles are off, are off by default, 60% of people turn them on, and in games where they're on by default, fewer than 5% turn them off. That really changed people's perceptions on subtitles as accessibility and really did a lot of good in that regard. Where's this fucking key I'm looking for? Is there somewhere further down here I can find it? Oh yeah, here we go. We can go this way. Yeah, there's a lot of video games that have their, or games generally that have their history further back than you would think. Yeah, ones that are kind of surprising. Half-Life 2 is the origin of, like, a lot of good subtitling practices, back in, what, 2004? Because the original Half-Life got, like, really criticized for not having any kind of subtitling. And Valve at the time were like, cool, we take on board your feedback and we're taking it really seriously. Every single game we develop from now on will have deaf and hard of hearing playtesters. And Half-Life 2 was the first game they did that with, and that's why Half-Life 2 has closed captions, including for non-dialogue sound effects, background opacity for subtitles, things like that. Specifically from them having deaf and hard of hearing people working on stuff. Okay, I'm trying to keep track of where we're going for this missing key. Is this talk recorded at all? Not if you're not a attendee of the University of Birmingham, but I'm giving this talk in a few places, and eventually I will probably put it online more generally somewhere else. This is the joy of being on the speaker circuit, is that I have a handful of talks I can give at events, and I get paid money to give talks at events, and usually those talks will be internally shared with wherever I've been paid to do the talk, and then I will go somewhere else and give the same or a very similar talk and be paid to do it there, and it'll only be shared internally there. It is weirdly how I make a lot of my money at this point, is going and doing talks places, and some of them end up online and some don't. And all of them eventually will. And if this one doesn't, at some point I'll give this talk somewhere. Yeah. I can see it being a good video if you ever did long-form AA videos. I've talked about this before. If I was gonna do this, I don't think I want to do it as a... I don't think I want to do it as an AA video. Because, to fit this whole history lesson that I gave as a talk today into an hour, I had to like absolutely skim over a lot of things. There was a lot of things I had to really, really sort of simplify and summarize in the way I did it. I've said before, I want to do a book on this someday. I want to do a book about the history of video game accessibility. And specifically, I want to go into a lot more depth than I did in this talk today. I want to interview a bunch of the people that come up in the history of accessibility. I want to do, like, entire chapter breakdowns on some of the more important and impactful things. Rather than doing it in chronological order, I want to sort of break it down into different aspects of video game accessibility and where their histories lay. Like, I think I have a book in this, and it's part of the reason that I'm not, like, rushing to take the 1 hour talk and make it into a thing that's online, is I want to do a better version of it that I can only really justify doing as a book, because that will give me the leeway to put the resources and time into it that it would need to take. It's on the list. It's on the list of things that I'm like, I at some point want to do something big with it, but what that big thing is up for debate. Or K-Dale, the K stands for book. I imagine there's a ton of obscure, very forward-thinking people and concepts buried in 50-plus years of gaming accessibility. Yeah, like, I can tell you some of the things I talked about that I think are interesting. Like, obviously... okay, here's a really interesting one that I would love to dig into in real depth about at some point. I forget what the acronym is, but this was in, I believe, in early 1970s. There was a device created which was basically a little camera that you could use, and this camera could detect the difference between white and black on a page, and could be used to raise a series of pins to make a letter tactile for blind people. It was designed as a tool to adapt inaccessible material that hadn't been adapted into Braille into a form that was accessible to blind people. Now, to be clear, it was not translating stuff into Braille. It was just, let's say there's a letter, a capital L. It'll raise up pins in the shape of a capital L when the camera's over that. Now, obviously, there was a learning curve to this, because most people who are blind or have been blind since birth don't necessarily know the letter shapes of English text, because they don't use that as a written language. So there is a learning curve of having to learn the letter shapes tactilely, but it was an early example of a tool that was, like, designed to try and bridge the gap of here's a piece of inaccessible text, you can learn the skills to use this tool to make it vaguely accessible. And there are accounts of people at the time using it to play text-based adventure games, because this camera worked well enough you could put it on a monitor and get a tactile feel of what the letter was, and use that to interact with text-based games. Right? There's a lot of interesting stuff in that history.
Ready to rumble. Surprise.
Yes, I tried to wedge 74 years of video game accessibility into an hour. So I had something like 45 to 50 seconds per year of the industry's history, which I think is a great starting point for something like a university class trying to get a big picture view on things that are worth researching. But it's not the level of depth that I would want to go into if I was gonna, like... I want to do a bigger project with that someday. Oh. Grapple you? Who was it that needed grappling? Or did the grapple break, maybe?
Here I go. Okay.
I'm trying to think of good individual stories that are worth bringing up. One of my favorite things that came up is there is a magazine that ran from 1990. Let me get the years right. 1997. It might have been 1996 to 2007. It was for 11 years. Called Odyssey. AUDSSEY, like audio and Odyssey. That was a gaming magazine for blind gamers that had between 3 and 6 issues every year for 11 years, and was like you can find archives of it. You can find like all of the audio episodes of it available online. So just have a look for. How's character health doing? Yeah, let's heal.
Have fun with this.
But yeah, you can go track it down, and it's a really interesting resource on an era where video game accessibility for blind players was largely unintentional examples, but were pretty well catalogued. You had stuff like a good accidental example is a PC game called Rumpus. It was shipped with a bunch of PC sound cards, and was like you were trying to shoot a monster, but you couldn't see it. You could only use audio to find this monster. Accidentally accessible for a lot of blind players because it was about positioning using spatial audio. Like, this is all shit from the 90s. Like, there was really good stuff happening. Is this the key we've been looking for?
Sup?
I think we found it. But there were even, like, deliberate examples. In the late 80s, 1988, I believe, there was a games console designed explicitly for blind gamers that shipped with 8 games. That was, like, its explicit aim was, here is a games console that ships with games accessible to blind players. It was great that was a thing. The one example that I know off the top of my head, and again, this was like late 80s, was there was a version of Pong where you use stereo audio in headphones to hear where the ball was from left to right, because it would pan left to right as audio, and the pitch would raise and lower as the ball went higher and lower. So you could hear, based on left to right panning and pitch, how high and how left or right the ball was, and could play Pong. Let me click the door. There we go. Fucking love video game accessibility. It's fucking great.
Should I open it?
There's way more interesting history out there than people know. You even have examples of stuff like, if you look back at the Magnavox Odyssey, that shipped with it had a dial on it as default where you could slow down game speed. You could make the game run slower if you needed longer to react to stuff. That is an accessibility feature you see, like, 30 years later in stuff like Celeste. Incompetent Hero says, I've been slowly doing a blindfolded playthrough of Chrono Trigger, and I have gained some major insights and respect for blind gamers and people in general. There's a few games that I've done runs of deliberately based on just audio, because I think it is really interesting to get a sense of, like, where the industry is at in that space. I've played through the majority of The Last of Us Part 2 when it originally released, just going off audio cues. I did a playthrough of it blindfolded, just using the audio cues. Really, really interesting stuff they were doing with that. I did a bunch of blindfolded playthrough when I got review code for Forza Motorsport last year. It's not a thing I need, but it's a thing that I find really interesting to see what the tech is doing and what is there for, you know, learning to play games using just sound. It's given me a lot of appreciation of sound design in games generally. Incompetent Hero says, a small but crucial thing I'm noticing is the lack of a bonk/sound when walking into walls and objects. Pokemon does this and it's much easier to navigate, whereas Chrono Trigger doesn't have any real useful sounds for navigation. Agreed. A bunch of blind players found Pokemon, so Pokemon stopped doing the bonk sound when you walk into things, in certain games, and it's one of the big things that made those games less accessible for blind players, was I can no longer reliably know I've hit a wall because there's no bonk.
Looks like a cabaret on its last legs.
Adachi-san, Namba, that would be Yamai.
But yes, all my waffling about accessibility you're hearing today.
Could use a little dusting.
I did an interesting talk, and at some point I'll find a way to do this talk outside of that, but...
Where's Kiryu-san?
Oh, so that's why you barged in, is it?
The university speaking circuit is a reason, is a thing that for now a lot of my talks will do the rounds at universities before they go other places.
Little Tiger's got some scruff strutting back in here. Then again, maybe I'm just a joke to you now.
Actually,
I'll find a way to get it online at some point.
Gone. Now, give us back Kiryu-san.
Come on. As if flapping your lips is all it'd take. Don't forget, you used to be one of us. You want to get your way, you gotta step up to the plate.
Great. Life lessons from Hawaii's resident psychopath.
And plenty of bark from Kiryu's little fan club. Let's just hope you've got some bite.
I do.
Yeah, we got you covered.
Oh, relax.
Yeah.
Look, I'm learning more about Wampus from you chat right now than I previously knew. I hadn't thought to research if Wampus was a real creature. I just knew it was the name of a game. Oh, you're speedy, am I? I gotta kick this boy's ass. Get our lad Kiryu back. I'm trying to think if there's any other good accessibility examples that are like things I was surprised to learn that are worth talking about off the top of my head from that talk. Of my head. Did you know that the N64 had a set of accessibility peripherals that kind of functioned like Xbox's co-pilot mode, in that they could be used in conjunction with a second player using a standard N64 controller as one player input? That was a thing. That's a neat little bit of gaming history. They also, at the same time, I think, released ones for the NES and Super NES. But it was a set of peripherals that included like a sip and puff input, some large external buttons that could be repositioned, a few inputs. I struggled to find specifics on what else was included, but you could use them as part of a setup also involving an N64 controller as a single setup, which is kind of equivalent to an Xbox Adaptive Controller plus standard Xbox controller using Copilot mode that you'd eventually see on Xbox. But this is like 20 years earlier.
Watch this.
Hey now! Don't let him get the better of you!
You're my son, for you.
You asked for it. Playtime's over, motherfucker.
Always playtime over, Yamai, is it? We're not playing anymore. I like playing. Yamai's got good taste. He's not kicking the experienced hostesses out. He knows what he likes.
I'm up. Going in.
I can do this! Prepare yourself!
That's ticking time.
Yes, I'm having to talk myself out of writing another book already. As is always the way, I'm already like, oh, I have a thing, I could write a book's worth on a thing. I could do that.
Indulge yourself!
Well, don't give him fucking health restoration. Don't let him get health back. I'm trying to kill him. I'm trying to knock him out. That's important. Okay, health isn't that.
Let's get it done. Brace yourself. Here I go. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, we're taking him down. We're getting him. Oh no, he's doing his dodge the sandworms walk. Gotta whoop whoop.
Oh, no, don't tell me you're done. Be a real shame.
Honolulu hits is such a powerful attack.
Might as well give up and take that.
Yeah, Yamai is spry.
Yes, I'm a fast learner.
Look at me go. Moving up.
Okay, give us back Kiryu now, please. We got a bunch of level ups. Give us Kiryu.
I'll ask you one more time. Kiryu-san, where is he?
And if I say I don't know,
And I'll make it so you do know, Yamai.
See what other good
Tomizawa.
accessibility history stories I can chuck
Choice
at
is
you.
yours. But you know what you gotta do. Or do you want to be disgraced even more?
Grace and I split ways a long time ago.
Okay, the tactical reading text through raised pins thing was called the Opticon. Optical to Tactile Converter, 1971. And the games console specifically for blind gamers from 1977 was called the Game Center. One with the
enough.
sort of audio cue-based Pong.
Kiryu-san is safe and sound.
Oh, that's... Oh, I got a good one for you in a minute. But Kiryu's
That
safe,
said,
that's good.
If you lay another finger on the boss, I can't guarantee he'll stay that way.
That's fair, miss. Ah, fuck it. I'm gonna share a bit of accessibility history now. So you know how today both Xbox and PlayStation have accessibility tags that you can sometimes see on games on their store, particularly their first-party ones, where you can, like, at the point of purchasing a game on their digital stores, you can see a list of common accessibility features and whether those games have them or not. The first example of that is in 1981. Atari used to have a special features section on some of their game packaging that would include things like whether the game had customizable game speed or customizable difficulty. Essentially, accessibility tags on their game packaging, all the way back in 1981. See, this is why I didn't say, like, oh, the first 30 years were crap. There was interesting shit in those early years. Granted, a lot of it didn't stick around or didn't get repeated, but, like, a lot of the industry's origins are back there. History is a cycle, as it were.
How about that? You really do have a way with people, don't you?
Now there's a keeper. Man, what I wouldn't give for a girl like that.
What, like it's too late? If you're serious, I say go for it.
You better show up at the wedding.
I'm coming in. We have guests.
Kiryu-san!
Oh, he's back. He's safe. He's safe.
So, you've been looking after him?
I just did what the boss asked me to do. Apparently, he used to look up to this guy way back when.
Yamai did?
He's been asleep ever since they brought him in. His wounds aren't too serious, so I'd wager it's something internal.
Figures. If anyone's gonna push himself, it's Kiryu-san.
First aid is about all I can do at this time. Now take your friend and get out of here.
I swear, if I'd known about all this, I'd have called off the fight.
Yeah, though he is still chasing after Akane-san, right? He hasn't given up on that. He's still trouble.
Oh, Kiryu.
Yamai.
Yamai, what's your plan once you find Akane-san?
Akane? Oh, you mean the
Have a good
old
night,
bat.
Artist Synth. Interesting story
Yeah,
also in
respect,
Incompetent
will
Hero.
you? Anyway, why even bother going after her?
Because the entire Hawaiian underworld's on the hunt. I got no idea what she's worth, but I'll find out once I get my
Come on,
hands on her.
Yamai Redemption. Let's get him on the
That's really
party. Come work with us.
I've been in Hawaii for a while now, but it's hard making yourself known.
Come on, join the squad,
The
boy.
Barracudas and the Genja, we're not fit to lick their boots. So if I can get my hands on their precious little prize first, I'll have a big, cushy seat at the negotiating table.
Negotiating? You act like it's a business deal. But really, don't you see you're just using Akane and Lani's lives to get what you want?
Everyone's on the prowl, and you don't scramble like that without good reason. By the way, who's this Lani?
Yeah, she's a kid. There's a kid that's gonna
I'm
get
glad
killed.
You asked. Means maybe you
Help
still have
us.
a heart after all. Let me explain. Whether you believe it or not, well, that's up to you.
So, Pale Kana's golden boy's the big kahuna out here, and he's after this little Lani snot, eh? Boring story like that. It must be true.
You mean you believe me?
Come on, join the team, join the
Tomizawa
squad.
switched sides. Kiryu's got your back. You don't seem like too great a liar. Top of that, I now know why they're going nuts enough to chase some bird around town. I'll leave the lady be.
Fantastic says
I'm
Yamai
not
gives
so
me I'm an
strapped for
antagonist, not a
cash I
villain
need to prey
vibes.
on a
Right?
kid. Once Kiryu's awake, pack up and get lost.
Like, I'm just gonna pitch this to you now. Future Yakuza game, it's a brawler rather than RPG. Tomizawa is the main character. Yamai is his Majima. Right? Right. Tell me that wouldn't you couldn't see a good game there.
You stay off my turf, and for good. We never see each other again.
He's got the hostess thing going and everything, right?
Yamai, I just have one more thing. Kiryu-san pulled through, and for that, you have my thanks. I owe you one.
Oh, it's the Ichiban making a friend
I had
music.
nothing to gain. You don't get glory from kicking a corpse.
No, you're a better man than I took you for. Well, not that much better, but...
It's the sincerity music.
Sure. Keep thinking that.
Chagtastic says, this is my, I'll be honest, this is my first time I've seen a Yakuza game, and I've only heard that they're all insane and are about an old Yakuza protecting a vulnerable girl. There are like 3 plots that this series has. It's protecting a vulnerable girl, saving the orphanage, and finding out who owns the rights to the mysterious plot of land. Those are the 3 plots this series has. It's who owns the rights to the vacant lot. Oh, we gotta protect the orphans, and oh, we gotta protect that one kid. It usually boils down to one of those 3. There are exceptions, but like, rule of thumb, it's those 3 plots.
To me, Kazuma Kiryu...
This would be protect the young girl from one of the past games. Kiryu, the guy dying of cancer in the bed, this was one of his protect the young girl stories.
Uncle Kaz!
There's been more than one. They will end with the main character whipping his shirt off and fighting another topless enemy on top of a skyscraper.
Where do you
Yes,
live?
usually, specifically Millennium Tower, but the reason why it's always Millennium Tower is Millennium Tower, I believe, if I remember right, is built on top of the vacant lot from Yakuza 0. Like, the first game about finding the rights to a vacant piece of land ends up being where a big tower is built that all the rest of the finales happen. Yes, okay, that is correct. So yeah, most of, even the boss fights that happen at the top of a big tower usually happen at the top of a big tower on top of the vacant lot. That is usually a plot point.
You don't have a home, kid?
But yes, Kiryu is reminiscing of, and there we go, orphanage. Protect the young girl and orphanage. Protect the orphans, protect the young girl. And this is Lani, a young girl from an orphanage that Ichiban's mum's trying to protect. Again, young girl and orphanage, we got 2 out of 3 on this game already. Shagtastic says, I'm convinced I'm gonna get the Yakuza games now, all of them, and I will protect the young girl who owns the vacant lot where the orphanage will be built. Honestly, that's... Look, you can play, fucking, what's the game where you put the words into the gaps, and it makes a nonsense story. You can play that with just young girl, orphanage, and vacant lot, and it will probably be the plot of one of the games in the series. 2 or 3 end on top of Kamurocho Hills, and one ends on the roof of a nearby hospital. But again, what is a hospital if not a place for orphans who are ill, you see? Mad Libs, that's the one. Just play Mad Libs with those 3 concepts.
Kasuga.
Ichiban's not dead. Kiryu's not dead yet. We're good. He's still alive for now. We got him back to the safe house. 。 . 。  . 。 .
「 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」 . 」
. 。 . 。 .
What happened?
We talked things out with Yamai. Turns out, he didn't know anything. He was only looking for Akane-san to get a leg up on the competition. No other new info, though, I'm afraid. Even now, Akane-san and Lonnie are still out there.
I see.
Please, leave the rest of this to us.
Hmm?
Kiryu-san, think about it. You can't keep pushing yourself to the
Yeah,
edge
you
like
did
that.
nearly fucking die. Pretty badly there.
Sorry to make an ass of myself.
You tried to fight off a
I knew
room
what
full
I was
of
getting
people
into.
while surrounded by fire while coughing up blood from the cancer. You're probably not in the best position to be on the front lines right now, sir.
I'm all good now.
Still with the tough guy act? How are you in any way all good, huh? Kiryu-san!
Look here, I used to be a nurse, so I want you to keep that in mind and listen to me.
I know I don't have much time left. There's just something I need to do.
You mean rescuing Lonnie and
He's got to
Akane-san?
protect the young girl and save the orphan.
What?
Those are two of his three things he does. He's got to protect Lani because she's 2/3 of his plot lines.
My mission has always been to secure Akane-san as quickly as possible.
This dungeon sub-boss says, my favorite Yakuza boss plot is
here
money is
would be a
evil, but
hindrance
also
to
really
the
nice to have.
Kasuga-san is clearly worried about you as it
I mean, one of my favorite Yakuza plots would be, crime is evil, except when I do it. That's a pretty good Yakuza plot.
is, and it would only stand to slow him down. Ultimately, that may end up putting Lonnie in danger.
You're gonna have to stop trying to save the orphan
doubt
in order to
that's what
save
you
the
want.
orphan, Kiryu.
Lonnie and Haruka Sawamura are kindred spirits, wouldn't you say?
Haruka Sawamura?
Oh yeah, most of the series is on Game Pass, which is nice.
As Kiryu-san might say, she's
There's a lot.
essentially his daughter.
If you get into the series,
Once
there's a
known
lot of
to
series
grow
to
with
be
10
played.
million yen, she too was a poor child hounded by man's greed. Had Kiryu-san not protected her, she would have been all but erased, and with little fanfare. Lonnie's no different. Even in my eyes, her situation aligns with Haruka's in many ways.
Kiryu just wants to save the girl and rescue the orphan.
I
That's
can
all
see
he
why you're so
do.
determined to help her. However, in your current condition, you couldn't even rescue yourself. It doesn't take a nurse to discern that. Now, does it?
Hey, give it a rest.
Also, we do have a nurse. Namba,
Kiryu-san.
tell him he needs help.
Just take it easy for a bit. Namba said he'd go back to Japan with you. Akane-san and Lonnie will be okay. I swear we'll figure it out. Remember, it's not just me. I've got Adachi-san, Chi-chan, and Tomi too. So please, can you let us take it from here, Kiryu-san?
You know, it's pathetic. A guy at my age, forcing those younger than him to ask that. And twice. Leave it to you, huh? You're right.
Metaphorically pass the
too scared to
torch
rely
to
on
the
others
new
for too
series
long.
protagonist, Kiryu. Go on,
Scared.
it's time.
Kiryu-san, you?
Yeah.
Kiryu watched Heroes and
I'm starting to
internalized
realize
save
that.
save the cheerleader, save the world. Yeah, save the girl,
longer
save
your
the
life,
world.
the more surprises.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right.
Kiryu, you've done like 9 games
Akane-san
at this
and Lonnie
point.
need you.
Have a nap.
Will you help them, Kasuga? Everyone.
We're on it.
We got this, Kiryu. Alright,
Ichiban.
have some rest. We should probably get some rest, yeah. I will see if there's any more... Oh, we gotta rest up at the house. Cool. Where in the house are we resting? We're resting in the bedroom here. Let's call it a day. And go find somewhere for Kiryu to have a good long nap. Okay. So, we'll see. You'll see what I mean in a minute, but people... When I was talking about this game when it first came out, I said something to chat and in podcasts and things where I said, this game sort of explodes in scope at a certain point and becomes a much bigger game than I thought it was going to be. And some people in the Twitch chat assumed Dondoko Island was what I meant when I was like, you know, the area that you are exploring in the physical space of the game suddenly kind of expands in scope. No, I wasn't talking about Dondoko Island, but I said I would tell you when we got to the thing I was hinting at. Yeah, we're about to get to it. We're on the precipice of what I was getting at.
Akane-san and Mani need our help. Let me know when you find him.
You know it. In fact, you'll be the first on the list.
Oh, these two. Kiryu turns it into less of a business handshake. He's like, no, you're my buddy. Look.
Alright, man.
They're bros.
You take care of yourself.
They're friends. I love them. I'm genuinely tearing up a little. I love these two. Kiryu's showing a bit of emotion back. He's a lovely one.
Well, be seeing you, Ichiban. Actually, hang on. You got a sec?
Yeah. So I forgot. This is why we can't do friendship bingo with Namba yet. Because Namba's heading back with Kiryu to make sure he's
Barely
alright.
just got here, and Chi-chan's got you wrapped around her finger. Sachan's old news now, is that it? You dog.
Hey, look, it's nothing like that. But besides, man, she's like 20 years younger than me.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's got its perks. Come on, say it with me. Chi-chan.
No, he's still into Sayako.
You know, came all
Namba.
this way. It's a shame we didn't get to hang out like this. Sorry about that.
We'll just have to wait for the sequel.
It's been fun.
Well, do me proud, Namba.
Always. See ya.
See, yeah. You know how the game started in Japan? In, like, one area of Japan. And then it moved to Hawaii, and it seemed like Hawaii was going to be the entire setting of the game. Incompetent Hero, this is not endgame. This is the start of the fucking game. This is where it's about to explode.
Yeah.
Ichiban and Kiryu... Sorry. Yeah.
I won't let
Namba and Kiryu were about to become an entirely separate adventuring party, doing shit over in Japan. And not just in one location, in multiple maps across Japan.
Find those two?
This is the we're leaving Midgar moment, yeah. So it's not going to be immediate. But Kiryu and Namba are the start of a second adventuring party. In Japan, with multiple maps from past Yakuza games set in Japan becoming accessible, and an entire separate plotline that Kiryu will be doing. Kiryu's going to be doing an entire plot that is not go and find Ichiban's mum over in Japan, and the game is about to become two games. It's about to become Hawaii Yakuza, in which we are trying to find Ichiban's mum, but also Japan Yakuza with Kiryu that's a whole separate story. Incompetent Hero says, good god, this game has so much game. This is what I've been itching to talk about. This game, I keep thinking I have a handle on its scope, and then it goes and does something like this, where it's like, no, Kiryu's gonna go do the other plotline we've got going on. Anam Zero says, this is exactly what I wanted from this game. Ichiban making new friends in Hawaii, and Kiryu getting to hang out in Yokohama with people from Yakuza 7 and learning the power of friendship. Right, yeah, we'll talk more about Kiryu's plot when we get there in a minute. But this game is going to start becoming alternating chapters, where you do one chapter as Ichiban and friends in Hawaii doing their shit, and then a chapter in Japan with Kiryu and crew doing their shit. And it's going to swap back and forth between being essentially two different Yakuza games. I fucking love this game. I would be surprised if this is not my game of the year. It's fucking great.
Upload another video and sit back.
Hey, it's not like that was for nothing, right? For all any of us know,
Such a stupidly good game.
Akane-san worked as the director of an orphanage. What's more, Polycana ran the place.
There's a thought. Polycana folks will probably know a thing or two.
We've already been there, though. We may not have known about Bryce's identity at the time, but we didn't find any clues either. Besides, they're not the type.
I really like the Din Zero
None of them would
swapping
have
between
ties to a
Kiryu and
gang or
Majima.
anything.
Yeah, very similar
Maybe
vibes.
so, but it's a
But
lead
just,
all the same.
it's like Yakuza Zero
It's the only
swapping
one we
between
got.
party members,
We'll just
between
have to go and see
protagonists,
for ourselves.
but the scope is just dialed up.
Sounds like a plan.
Like, I don't know
Good
for
cop
certain off the top of my
always
head.
revisits the scene of
I
the
think
crime.
there's like 8 party members in this game. This is an RPG with, I think, 8 party members. Because right now we have these 4 in Japan, in Hawaii, and I think we end up with a party of 4 in Japan. I think it's an 8-party member RPG. Can we do any more Adachi friendship links right now? Never do heart to heart. Or Cockadoodle Adachi, okay. I don't know what this one is. We'll find that out. I'm just double checking. Is there... Okay, we've got a couple inside the shopping center. Let's start with this and see where we go. Yeah, okay, sorry, yes, it's 8, sorry, you're right. It's 8 plus 2 leaders, so a total of 10 party members? Yeah, so we... It's something ridiculous like that. It's nonsense. Yeah, more than 8 active party members.
These chickens remind me of the one I had before.
You had a pet chicken, Adachi-san?
Yep. Bought one of the dyed chicks from a temple festival years ago and raised it myself.
Wait, you mean you got to eat fresh eggs with your rice every single day?
Nope. It was male, so no eggs. What that meant...
Don't tell me you ate.
Well, he'd wake me up in the morning like an alarm clock.
Whew. Glad he didn't end up on the grill. We're really opening up. Feel like I've gotten to know them well.
Yeah, bingo spaces. Now, I genuinely don't remember what this side quest over here is that seemed to pop up on the map. Well, let's go find out. What is this? Oh, I know what this is. So, those of you who were around for Monday's stream will remember a side quest I got really annoyed by. The gist of it, a woman, like, drugged Ichiban and stole some of his money. But it was basically like, hey, look, I'm fucking poor, and I have no qualifications, and I have a kid, and I'm literally just trying to get enough money so my kid doesn't fucking starve. And she had, like, a friend from childhood, but the friend from childhood was from a rich family, and he just didn't fucking get it. And I got really annoyed with this quest, because the rich friend was like, well, here's what we will do. You go turn yourself into the police, because that is the morally right thing to do for you having done crimes, and I will look after your child, and you can come be a mother to your child once you have gone and put yourself in prison for a crime you haven't been caught for. You've been successfully doing this scam and keeping your kid alive for years without getting caught, but rich friend is like, no, you must do the moral thing. You won't be able to look your child in the eye properly if you don't go and turn yourself in and spend time in prison for a crime no one caught you for. Oh yeah, Shagtastic, there's friendship bingo. There's a bingo board where you deepen your social links with party members by finding little story interactions to fill in a bingo card. This game's nonsense. Shagtastic, if you know nothing about Yakuza, sorry, I have to stop and tell you things about Yakuza. This game has a Pokemon side quest with an Elite Four champion, and 150 Pokemon to go catch, except they're not Pokemon, they're just guys. Like, man dressed up like a beach ball, man with a flamethrower, but there's 150 of them in a quest where there is a Sujimon professor who keeps making Pokemon puns. There's also an Animal Crossing game in this where I spent 12 hours playing Animal Crossing. This series is bonkers. Yeah. But yes, that annoying side quest, we're gonna go see the end of it, so prepare for me to vent about my annoyances with this side quest again. This is rich man who's gonna look after poor woman's child while she's in prison.
Hey.
Oh.
Marion asked me to watch Kyle for the afternoon while she took care of some things. Oh yeah, there's Pokemon Snap as well. There's there's a crazy taxi minigame, but you're on a bicycle and delivering food, like an Uber Eats driver called Crazy Eats, but it's just Crazy Taxi. The previous one had Mario Kart. The previous one also had a business management minigame where you made a confectionery business and all your boardroom meetings were essentially like JRPG battles. It's a silly series. You're the man from the bridge. Hello.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've met before. He's Mama's friend.
Okay.
Do you have any idea where Marion went? I don't think so. She just said she'd be back by nighttime and to play with him in the park till then. Kyle, you be good for Zach, yeah? Sega has gone really hard on the Ichiban was a Nintendo kid thing. No, specifically, I guess so. Specifically, like, Dragon Quest was his game. Dragon Quest was the game he was obsessed with. The reason that all the fights that are happening are, like, against big, wild, nonsense enemies is because Ichiban is imagining being a Dragon Quest character. Like, it's not... The turn-based battles canonically are happening because Ichiban's imagining it's turn-based fights because he's pretending he's a Dragon Quest hero. Mama's got so many friends, you better try hard if you want to be her best one. Okay, let's go find Marion and see what she's up to. Probably turning herself into the police, despite not having been caught doing any crimes, because some rich boy told her that, like, that's the moral thing to do, go serve your prison time, I'll look after your kid, don't worry. Or just fucking count yourself lucky that you got away with it and don't fucking do more crime? Count yourself lucky that you got away with it as long as you did? Right, let's go this way. Oh no, this is plot progress. I want side quest progress. Side quest progress is over here. I almost progressed the plot. The orphanage. Yes, we almost went to the orphanage where the little girl was from. Maybe there is some land rights involved in this one, but if there are, we haven't come across them yet. Okay, this is Mariam. This is the mum of that kid. This is the mum who was going to go turn herself in. But instead, she seems to be handing some money to a cop. This can't be her way of turning herself in. Did she just hand the cop cash? Not bad, but we've been getting even more tourists in town lately. You can do better next time, I'll bet. Danny, there's not going to be a next time. I can't anymore. I'm done taking advantage of people just to support myself. I want a better life. Where the fuck did this come from? I'm turning myself in. I'll serve time. That's a real goddamn good one there. Did some doe-eyed John tell you to say that? You don't understand jack about the world, do you? You do time, nothing changes. Hell, you get out of it, things will be even harder in the next con. I'm the one putting food on your table, girl. You and the brat would have starved if not for the goodness of my heart. I'm not running a charity. I've been paying you. Yeah, so basically, like... Yeah, the reason she hasn't been arrested for any of the crimes she's been doing is... The cops are aware of what she's been doing, but she's been paying off a cop. She's been doing the scam to make money to feed her kid, but then having to use some of that money to pay off the cops. But she's like, nah, I'm out, I'm done. A cab indeed. Oh yeah, well, you know, if you end up in prison, I'm trying to not do the scam anymore, I'll make sure you never see that kid of yours again. Yeah, this is why you don't fucking trust turning yourself into the cop. Just keep doing the scam. Honestly, the scam's working alright for you. Like, fine then. Better than him finding out about you. I'm telling them everything. Understand? Everything. We'll both go away. Oh, man, bad idea. I don't want to have to do this. Yeah, don't fucking trust a cop. Word of a public servant against the word of a whore. Come on, don't you know us cops are everyday heroes? Who'd believe a word coming from you? I would.
Huh?
Ichiban, hero of the people. It never made sense to me. Hawaii is known for cracking down on prostitution. How could Marion have kept this up as long as she has? I mean, she's good, but almost no one's good enough to hide forever. Not without some bastard pulling strings. Who the hell are you? Put that gun down and never come near her again. Got yourself a guardian angel, ain't that sweet? One more piece of gutter trash that will wash away with the next rain. Time to clean up the streets. I don't care that you have a gun. I have a big cyber surfboard. Cyber surfboard beats gun every time. He has the power of friendship, but also the power of big surfboard. Oh, let's do the big laser. Let's do the space laser. Yeah, this is for anyone who missed it. This is the reward you get for 100%ing the Animal Crossing minigame. It's beautiful, isn't it? Stop shooting with your gun. That's not fair. We don't have guns. Exactly. 5-star resorts always have orbital lasers as backup. Perfect. Are we close enough to the end of the quest that we get voice acting again now? Not quite. You think that no one would believe Marion's story? Maybe people won't look kindly on the things she's done, but still. Whenever someone's taken a wrong path, if they're serious about making things right, they'll always have my support. I'd certainly put my faith in them over some cop who gets off pointing a gun at the woman he's leeching cash from. Now, I will say, the thing I think makes this side quest worth playing, and I'm going to be vague about this, I think this side quest is a really good parallel for something that happens very near the end of this game, like way later. And I will probably end up referencing this side quest when we get to the end portions of this game. I won't expect people to remember it, but I will remind people about this quest. I think this quest, the main thing I think it does well is it serves some interesting parallels for something much later. It sets up that ultimately Ichiban is very much a believer in, I don't care if someone isn't going to be believed. If they want to make amends and start afresh, I want to be on their side, making sure they can try and do that. Also, just, you know, beating up a corrupt cop is decent anyway, yeah. It's not just Marion who needs to atone here. Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, get down on the ground right now! Listen, please, this man just saved my life from him! I will say, I respect what she's doing here. I don't like a lot of the framing of this quest, but I do like, at the very least, that she's like, hey, if I admit to what I've done, he goes down too. And even if I don't see my kid for a few years, this guy can't pull this shit on other people. If I'm gonna go to jail, I at least will do so on terms where I can take a corrupt cop down with me. And I respect that from her. As much as I'm still like, yeah, on principle, don't fucking... If you've got a kid, don't turn yourself into the cops unnecessarily. I'd been paying him off to look the other way on prostitution and fraud. But when I told him I wanted to turn myself in, he pulled his gun and threatened to kill me. This man stopped him. Look, I'm willing to go with a little bit of suspension of disbelief that the cops would believe her here. I feel like I'm going to admit to the fact I've been doing prostitution and willingly hand myself over to be arrested is about the best position you can put yourself in if you're trying to go, I am being honest about what this cop has done. I am admitting to what I have done in order to talk about what this cop has done. I'm not saying it's likely that you would be believed, but I'm saying you are putting yourself in the best position to take down that cop that you could be, I think. She's not going to run, she just wants to speak to her family before she turns herself in. This, I think, is the most unbelievable bit, is that the cop is willing to turn his back and, like, let her say goodbye to her kid before she turns herself in. And, like, the fact that she was literally there ready to get the cuffs put on her, I think, is it probably, like, to a decent human being, it's a good sign that, like, she's not gonna run.
I can't believe
She's genuine about turning herself in, but also, like, no cop's gonna actually give her that, like, leniency, that benefit of the doubt. But anyway.
everything you've done for me after how I treated you. I wish I could give you your money back, but this is all I have to offer.
Fancy free magazine! Ooh!
Zach, I'm counting on you to look after my son.
Don't worry about a thing. I'm so glad I can do this for you. Take your time, and we'll see you again.
Thank you.
This man really feels like he's taking advantage of her situation.
I'll be going away for a little while now.
Again, I talked about it before. The
Sorry,
optics
I
would
have
be
to leave,
so
but it's
different
important
if
that
you
I do.
flipped a couple of
I
factors.
need you to be a good boy. And always treat Uncle Zach with respect. And if you can, forgive me for being so selfish.
Take your time in jail.
Okay. Mama, I know that you've been working really hard for me.
Oh, this kid breaks my heart.
Thank you for everything. I promise I'll be just fine. And Uncle Zach and
This
I will
kid
be
has had to grow up way faster
So
than he
you
should have
can-
done.
do whatever you have to do, Mama.
Kyle. I'm so
You should
sorry.
not have to be this aware of your own familial situation,
I
kid.
swear to you.
But I don't think this kid's gonna grow up resenting Mum for this. I think to a degree he gets
We're gonna make your mama proud. by
shit's
hanging
hard
in
and
there
Mum's
and
tried
growing
really
up
hard to
strong.
keep me
Aren't we,
safe.
Kyle?
Yeah. You too, Zach.
Me too.
If you do your best, maybe Mama will make you my papa when she comes back.
And look, as much as I hate Zach, I can't deny he is good with children. He knows how to look after kids. Zach's gonna be good. Carl's gonna be good in his care, but
I know you'll come back from this. I know you can do good, too.
yeah. So that's that side quest that I have like complicated feelings about. But there we go, we've done it. Right, how many more Adachi conversations we got? We got a small handful of them, and then we will go progress the story a little. Yeah, I don't think it's an irredeemable side quest, that one. I think it's one of the ones where I have the most, like, uncertain thoughts about how I ultimately land on it, I think is the right way to put it. I think there are bits of it that are well written for certain. I think there is value to the side quest.
A lot of these Hawaiian fruits sure are colorful.
Oh. Ooh, aren't they selling dragon fruit over there?
Damn. Not only does it look cool, it's also got one badass name. Is it tasty, though?
I never had it before myself, but I would buy one anyway. You know, looks and sounds cool. It's like buying an album for the cover art, you know?
What, you're gonna buy something?
We
based on
love
how
the
it
gay
looks?
crustacean side quest
knowing
is
how
so
it
good.
tastes?
Doesn't matter if it's a CD or a fruit. I just can't resist whatever catches my attention. One of these, please. Wait. How the heck do you eat these?
Adachi has ADHD and I love him.
Son, all right.
I saw an album with cool cover art. I had to have it. I bought this fruit. I don't know how to eat it, but it looked cool. Oh, yeah, no, there's... Okay, so we've done this on stream, so I can talk about this one. I will always take any excuse to talk about this. There is an entire side quest in this game about gay crustaceans. In the first RPG one, Like a Dragon, our main character rescues Nancy the crawfish from being eaten by a homeless man. And then in this one, Nancy the crawfish falls for... Oh, what's the hermit crab's name? Sophia? The hermit crab? A hermit crab in a sparkly, jewel-encrusted pink shell, and the two of them have a little love story. Olivia. I knew it was something like that. Nancy and Olivia, you can end up using them as a summon, and the two of them will, like, attack enemies as a pair. But there's a whole little, like, romance side quest between our crawfish and a very bedazzled hermit crab. This series has it all. Okay, right. We got any more friendship side quest content to do quickly while we're here? Oh, we got some in the shopping center, I think, haven't we? Yes. And then we'll quickly run back to the Survive bar and see if we've unlocked any, like, of the drink links, and then we will progress plot. Where's this conversation point? Is it upstairs? Oh, there it is. Yes, the sub-story is called Coming Out of Her Shell because subtext is for cowards. Exactly! It's called Coming Out of Her Shell because it's lesbian shellfish. It's great.
I might get lost here. That reminds me of the time I had to look after a lost 3-year-old. Luckily, the family hurried over. The kids would not leave me alone.
Dang, they were that attached?
Yep. The kid would start crying without me, so I ended up accompanying the family home. I had dinner with them and everything before I left, too. Real odd experience, that was.
Wow. Guess kids really like you, Adachi-san.
Adachi seems like he'd be a good
I
dad.
hope that kid's doing all right.
We're really opening up. I feel like I've gotten to know them well.
We've almost finished the friendship bingo. We've got one more friendship bingo space to do. And then we can be besties with Adachi. Right. Let's go find that last one, which I think is across town. Oh, where was it? It was over here somewhere? Yep. Then we can go cash in our friendship points for finding out what Adachi's little side story is this time. Nothing, no one. I'm not trying to bother anyone.
Surfing. One fad that always seems to come and go. Just like the waves.
Wow, have you ever gone surfing, Adachi-san?
Sure have. Did my damn best, too. All to woo a woman at the beach. Reality wasn't kind, though. That summer fling was over before it started. She burst my hopes and dreams. Like mere ocean bubbles.
What's up with you? Forcing yourself to be a poet or something?
I mean, I even tried talking to her like this. Just kept waxing poetic. It's a shame it didn't work out.
Ever thought that was why? All right.
Friendship bingo. We did the friendship board. We unlocked a friendship. Friends forever. Hell yeah. Which yeah, we can't do his final friendship bingo thing until nighttime, but we can go to the bar and probably drink with him and find out what his little sub-story is for this one. Or at least the first couple of points of his sub-story. We've come to the bar. I need to do karaoke now. I can't come to the bar and not do karaoke. What do we do? What do we do on karaoke?
Hope you're ready for this.
Oh, let's do my favorite stupid little short song. Let's play Ichiban's "I Wanna Be a Gamer" song.
Check this out, guys.
The only not terrible song about being a gamer.
There are days you'll be weak, there are days you'll be lost. There are times where you feel you wanna run and hide. There are days you'll be down, and you'll start to wonder if the world would be better off if you died. I have those days too, but I believe I'm gonna make it through, and I won't run away. I won't die. I'm gonna level up, be the best that I can be, and I'm not gonna stop questing until I'm a hero. I'm gonna level up, be the best that I can be. I swear that I'll become unstoppable, and you'll be.
He just wants to be a little Dragon Quest boy.
I've got to see this through, I can't look back until the end. Rise from rock bottom to the future I've seen in my dreams. So come on, let's go level up.
You're gonna level up, be the best that you can be. You're not gonna stop questing until you're a hero. I find it hard to walk past the karaoke section and not play at least one song of karaoke, and that one is sweet. Right, Adachi, tell me of your side quests. He is a nerd, and I love him for that.
Damn, Adachi-san. Already at it, huh?
Hey, I figured I'd go ahead and have myself a drink. Booze here in Hawaii is not half bad.
Good to know. Glad somebody's enjoying himself. But man, I never imagined the two of us kicking back and drinking at a resort like this.
Yeah, I'll say. Better play it cool, unless we want folks to think we're from way out in the sticks. You know, you kind of blend in with the locals. Yeah, actually, maybe you blend in a little too well.
Yeah, he's half Hawaiian.
So? I guess we're on the same wavelength. I was just thinking, this hairstyle...
Like, Adachi, you know this. He is half Hawaiian. His mum is from Hawaii. That's probably why he fits in all right here.
After all, what better time to do it?
Oh, Honolulu City Lights interjections are fucking hilarious.
Hey man, I like you just the way you are now. Your style's not...
I mean, there's nothing to suggest to us that Akame's parents aren't both Hawaiian. My understanding is that her, like, she grew up in Hawaii, and I believe all her family's Hawaiian. I might be wrong, but
so no need to go changing it.
Oh yeah? So I don't have to work on anything at all.
As Pat Stares At put it, he is the secret American of the party.
Hey, you're my constant, man.
Now get a load of this guy. Hey, you know just how to butter me up, don't you?
But still, what went down back in Ijincho feels like ancient history compared to...
Oh, it feels like a game released like 4 years ago.
Getting roasted online.
Oh no, that,
We've
okay.
been through a lot.
You can say that again. Everything we spent time and effort building up just...
Oh yeah, that was like 50 hours of game ago that we were like...
I really am
trying to help rehabilitate the Yakuza. That was a while.
Hard I try. I don't think I could ever make it up to you.
Come on, knock it off. There's nothing you need to apologize for. Anyway, don't worry about the agency. I just wanted to know what it was like, you know, being your own boss.
But you had everything all planned out, like with the company values and stuff. It seemed like you
Oh,
knew
each
what
one
you were doing.
feels bad that
Yeah,
Adachi's new business
guess you're
fell
right.
apart.
Yeah?
I wanted to put my experience as a detective to good use. After all, there are some things a civ can do that an officer can't. And
Is
preventing
Akane
crimes
a
before they
Hawaiian
occur
name,
is a field
so
that
I can
still
see
has
it being part
plenty of room to
Japanese?
grow.
I don't
I
know
was
if
planning
Akane is
on
a
working this old
Hawaiian
body of
name.
mine to the bone. Be a little more useful to society, you know?
I don't know the
finally hit
situation.
ground
but-
running too. Heck, you were even ready to take your business to the next level.
Right? I mean, my goal was to develop subsidiaries for consultation and
But yes,
security.
either way, Ichiban's
But
got a
that
bit of
dream's pretty much dead
Hawaiian
in
in
the water
him.
now. Yeah, anyway. No use crying about it. Figure it's better to put one foot in front of the other and keep on moving along.
Okay, her surname is Kushida, which is definitely Japanese. Okay, fair enough, but I don't think it fundamentally changes my point that like Adachi's going, oh, I'm so surprised that you seem like you fit in here with the locals, and it's like, well, it's probably because there's a bit of Hawaiian in him. That probably helped.
I'll lend you a hand when the time comes. You know I'd do anything for you, pal.
Is that her
That's
maiden
so.
surname? I don't know.
I guess I should start thinking about my next.
Yeah,
business
it might
venture
have been
then.
that is her surname post-marriage. I
Clean up the mess
don't
over
know.
here.
I'm real glad you're here, Adachi-san. When you came running with Namba, I was just so grateful.
Yeah, you're pretty much the only one who ever says that kind of stuff about me. But helping
He's-
you out
he-
makes my
bro.
day-to-day a little more meaningful. Hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Let Ichiban
Oh,
be
yeah?
gay. These two would make a
Tell you
great
what.
couple. They'd be so good for
We're
each
gonna
other.
have each other's backs for the long haul. Even if I'm the only one getting help right now.
Just let these
Don't
two
sweat it.
boys hold
I'll
hands.
cash in and have you pay me back double.
Sure you will.
Okay, yeah. Yes, she didn't get married to. Yeah, because she'd have been Arakawa if she'd
Hawaiian
gotten.
booze.
Yeah.
Better not drink too much. This ain't Survive, so you're not just gonna add it to your tab.
Nah, I got it covered. The bartender and I are pals now. Isn't that right, barkeep?
Sure. Enjoy the drinks, Adachi.
What the heck? When did you two get so close?
Didn't you know? Blending in at a bar is an essential skill I perfected back when I was with the Force.
You sure are a man of many talents. Must be the years of experience. You gotta teach me some of that.
All right, how about another round then? On me. I'm feeling generous today.
And M0, look,
Sweet.
there's still
Hey,
time for them to try and do a 30-hour subplot somewhere in the series
Easy
about
there, Tiger.
the difficulty of
Don't
claiming
have to take out
birthright
a loan,
citizenship
but
as an
I'll
adult.
pay you back
There's
once
room
my
for
next
that.
venture takes off, yeah?
Yeah, actually, barkeep, could you just get us another round of what we're having now?
Oh, I think we've got at least one more bit of Adachi's drink links to do. Which I think is where we actually find out what he wants to get done while he's in Hawaii. Rather than just, oh, it's good to see you, bro.
Hey, Adachi, about that ask you had for me earlier. No good info's been coming in lately.
Oh, is that right? Not surprised, honestly. I wasn't really expecting much.
Don't be so down. I'll ask around some.
Sounds like you have a plot line, Adachi.
sup,
Tell me
fellas?
more.
What were you two talking about?
Ah, nothing much. Just asking the bartender for a little favor. Hey, thanks again, barkeep. I didn't mean to ask while you were busy, though.
Don't worry about it. Just relax. Enjoy the drinks.
So, what's this about a favor? Or is it something you can't tell me?
Nah, it's no secret. I knew someone who supposedly moved to Hawaii a long time ago, see? I heard they opened a jewelry shop here, so I asked the bartender if he could look into their whereabouts.
Judging by how things went earlier, I'm guessing he couldn't find them?
I don't even know if they did open up shop. Honestly, I've just been grasping at straws.
But even if you didn't ask the bartender, couldn't you just reach out to the person yourself?
Well, the last time we met was 20 years ago.
Oh, gotcha. Let me guess. That acquaintance of yours is one pretty lady?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Is it hard to talk about her?
Is it hard for you to talk about her? Just say the word and I'll lay off.
That's not what you think. Heck, you might even get kind of bored listening to the whole story.
No,
Hey,
we
man,
wouldn't
we
get
got
bored.
time. Now
We
you
love
got me
listening to
curious.
you.
Well, back when I was a cop, she was involved in this one case. A robbery took place at her father's gem shop 20 years ago. She was just a high school student at the time.
A jewel heist, huh? Who were the perps?
Three-man team. We caught him the day after, of course. And recovered the stolen jewels, too.
Wow, damn. Gotta hand it to the Japanese police.
No, you don't.
I'm guessing you were assigned to that case.
Right. just one of many investigators.
And now that same girl from way back then has a shop of her own here in Hawaii?
Well, that's what the rumor says. So I figured, since I'm already here in Hawaii, I may as well go check up on her, see how she's doing.
You think she still remembers you?
That, I'm not too sure, and the only way to find out is by meeting her.
I'll help you look. I'll help you find it.
I'll help you look for her shop.
Nah, don't worry, man. It's fine. Seriously, you're busy enough as it is. And the bartender's already looking into things for me, so I'll be all right.
Go on. Tell us
Anyway,
your sad
good luck
backstory
finding that
and
shop.
why
You
her
got
and this
any
shop are
leads to make
important
the
to
searching
you.
easier? Oh, only her name. Akiko Manabe. Not many Japanese folks selling jewelry here in Hawaii, so I probably have enough clues to go on.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, that said, there's also a chance she did open up shop, but things didn't go so well. And since I don't even know for certain in the first place, I'd rather not get my hopes up.
Gotcha. Sounds like a solid plan. Cheers!
Yeah, there's probably, and knowing the way that these drink links work, there's probably a bit more to it than that. Than just, oh, she had a place and, oh, don't worry about it. But we'll come back to that when Adachi's ready to open up some more. But until then, let's go continue a little tiny bit more of the main plot. Let's go to the orphanage and see what happens. I'm trying to remember why we're heading to the orphanage right now. What is the current... if Wongto is telling the truth, Palicana's bad news, let's head to the orphanage and find out for ourselves. Okay, we're just going to the orphanage to try and get some info on, like, hey, do any of you here know about Bryce being a secret cult leader? Any insights on that you can share with us? That orphanage is looking suspiciously empty right now. There is a suspicious lack of orphans
got
here.
Quite a little setup going here.
Yeah, but still, it's weirdly quiet today. Last time we came, there were kids everywhere.
Oh, look, there's one.
These kids are pretty friendly, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, no mistake. Something's off.
Maybe someone's pulled the wool over their eyes, led them astray somehow. Guess that bit about rescanning the crime scene holds true. Hey, Kasuga? Could mean something here's changed.
I mean, look, they've been to the orphanage on friendly terms a few times. It's not suspicious for them to come and be like, hey, any news on whether Akane's okay?
Swirled about. And so the enraged Nele, in all her wisdom, cast the greedy into the purging fires.
Most of the kids are missing, and most of the adults are missing, and it's just
back at the island.
the slight cult leader man
here?
reading stories to a small handful of children. That doesn't seem great.
Welcome, Kasuga. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, recap, this is the man who at the start of the game seemingly murdered the previous head of the religion to steal that necklace and
These guys are definitely
force his way into being head of the religion.
You don't seem too happy to see me. There a reason for the bodyguards?
Ah, yes. These are Haku warriors. They are acutely sensitive to those who would wish me harm.
These are my cultists. I have
Callan out or something?
I've created cultists.
If you have business with them, I can oblige.
No, I'd rather talk to the not cult leader.
Though I cannot
folks.
stay the Flame's judgment.
Wongto's story. Was all that really true? Be real. What are you gonna do with all those kids?
They're scaring me, Father Bryce.
Fear not, my child. No evil can withstand a Haku
That's the
warrior's
problem with
spirit.
being a religious leader. It
What
puts
we
you in a
should do
position
now
where you get a
is
lot of
pray.
trust.
Let us beseech
Particularly from
Madame
fucking
Nele to
orphans
envelop them
in your care.
swiftly and painlessly.
There is a lot of inbuilt trust in being a religious figure. We talked previously about how many of the Yakuza games, the plot is fundamentally about, like, villain wants to have all of the forms of power, all the ways of making money and all the forms of power, And being a religious leader is a real great way to get the power bit down. Like, you can get some real fucking dedicated people if you take control of a religion.
Akane-san took Lonnie and ran from here. That's why you're after her. You might act calm, but I know you're getting desperate. Normally, you keep the gangs out of the public eye. But right now, you've got all hands searching high and low.
Palikana's flames purify everything they touch. They encompass all doubts, all hesitations, and return them to the ashes.
That's a well-framed shot, I can't deny.
Just kill them and move on?
I will cleanse what I can, and must. And as for what that shall be, whatever, or whomever, it is my role, granted to me by the flames, to determine.
You're stalling! Answer the damn question!
Arrogant demon. May her fires.
I'm glad he's sending the kids, like, to get out of the way. Because I do have a plan. And my plan... I was gonna have to tell the kids to hide under a table or something if they didn't leave the room. Because my plan might involve a big orbital space laser. And I don't want to hit the kids with it. Although, we could show off the gay crustaceans. We could use gay crustaceans for this. I'm gonna get to Ichiban's turn, probably.
Here I come.
Oh, Terra, I'm sorry to hear you're having a rough one. I will try and have a look at some point in the Discord. I'm sorry to hear things are going rough. No, I can't afford gay crustaceans right now. We will stick with... I can't even do big laser beam. I can't even do a big laser right now. Can I... Okay, I guess we do actual combat. Okay. Let's do what we can to get another orbital laser going. So we need at least 50 MP. Ooh, tag team. We can do a tag team. That's probably worthwhile.
I can do this.
Yeah, let's do Honolulu hits on the Palikana Zealot. What can we get 50 MP for?
Here you go.
Come on, Ichiban, laser time. Big laser. Okay, we've just got the zealots left. We can handle that.
Let's see you try. Got you now. That all you got?
Let's see you try. Let's go.
We've got grapple on you, so we can break guard.
You're coming with me. Damn you!
I can do this. Prepare yourself.
That's picking time.
The music here is fantastic, right? I'm loving the vocal line on this. Anim Zero says, love it when the instant KO for arrest works on sub-boss enemies. Yes, I don't use it very often, but yeah, you can slap a pair of handcuffs on a character with the Dachi, and sometimes you'll just get an auto win. And it's real good when it's on a character with that high an HP.
I guess we're not chasing after him.
What's going on here?
Oh, hey,
Dana.
regular members of the religion.
Kasuga.
Yeah, time to tell you that your leader is a cult, is making a little
I
cult.
see. So Bryce really did send you out for errands, huh?
Yes. He said the food bank was in urgent need of resupply and asked if we could pick everything up.
We rarely get instructions like that from Bryce himself, however. So, we did think it a little strange.
Right. Then you came back to this.
Yes.
Kasuga, about what you said, Halekana's true intentions. I just find it so hard to believe. Where's it all coming from?
Oh yeah, just you wouldn't know. I mean, I had a feeling that was the case anyway. You and Callan and all. Well, you didn't seem like the type to hurt these kids.
Not at all. Honestly, we have no idea what you're talking about. We never knew Bryce was controlling the gangs, nor that he was after Akane's life.
Callan, Dana, I know I'm an outsider here. Heck, I only touched down in Hawaii just a little bit ago. I can't blame you if you don't want to believe me. Not when these are such big claims.
Generic Orb says, do you mean to tell me the spooky cult I devoted my life to is some kind of sham? But this is the thing that sucks about Bryce, like, making a little cult out of this, is that genuinely Palikana as a religion in this is like a really well thought through, very sweet, not creepy religion. It is like, hey, look, we believe in a volcano deity, but basically what our religious practices are we have a duty to protect the land and the people of Hawaii, and what that means to them is operate a food bank, look after the island by, like, going out at night and cleaning up trash and doing, like, recycling and things like that, going around the local areas at night, like, making sure people are okay and doing any kind of support work that's needed, running a non-for-profit orphanage in the local community, and basically just being there to look after the people and make sure the people are okay. And specifically, like, their food bank practices are, like, we get things locally and serve things locally so that we're not creating, like, pollution by trafficking food back and forth. They are just a very well-meaning religion that someone with shady motives plonked themselves at the top of and started plucking members of the religion out to go, I'm going to make you into a little cult over here. It's along the lines of this nice religion I followed all my life now has a corrupt leader and is trying to turn it into a cult. Yeah, because here's the thing. I know the problems with, like, charities that are also religions. Like, the Salvation Army using their position to, like, provide homeless shelters, but also to, like, kick out LGBT people and shit like that is not good. But I think they go to really extensive lengths in this to show you Palikana functioning as it is meant to. And that it is a, like, very genuine, like, it is just a very genuinely sweet religious group that seems to have their motives in the right place. Where someone has gone, this is a very sweet religion, would be a real shame if someone murdered the leader and put themselves in place to start making a little subcult. And it's like, I get it. But it annoys me mildly when people, like, reduce Palikana generally in this game to being a cult. I'm like, no, it really... I say this as someone who was religious at one point in my life, is not anymore, but, like, it feels like it really downplays, like, the legitimate good, and the legitimate, like, good intentions and lack of caveats to the good intentions that I think is portrayed with Palikana. Bryce being a fucking dickhead making his own little cult doesn't change the fact that fundamentally it's not worth writing this religious group off entirely, I think. There's a fundamentally delusional aspect to everything we've heard from Palikana to this point. Is there? Is there a fundamental... I think it is kind of fucking rude to say... Because, like, The only thing that there's like a non-provable element to this is we believe in a Hawaiian volcano god, which there are real-world religions that believe in volcano-based deities. Like, that's the only thing I feel like you could be referring to as delusional. Because, like, if we're taking Bryce out of the equation for a minute, like, I don't think there's anything other than just, we believe in looking after the land and its people because volcano. And I'm like, Generic Orb says, well, yeah, there is no volcano god. You don't believe in a volcano god. There are real-world religions that believe in volcano gods. And I'm not gonna... Like, I don't believe in a volcano god. I don't believe there is any evidence to believe in a volcano god. But I think to go, they're all being delusional because they believe in a volcano god, really feels like you're just being... Atheism is the only sensible belief, and anyone who's religious is a fucking idiot. And I'm just not really... doing food banks, etc., all good stuff, but just don't base it on Volcano God and Sacred Island stuff. Yeah, but that's their religion. That, like, it feels like you're going, the good they do doesn't count because they believe in a thing, and I think religion is stupid. And Generic Orb, I'm just not interested in an argument where your point seems to just be any religious belief is fucking dumb. Seems to be what you're getting at. Yeah, Generic Orb, can we leave this argument here? I fundamentally do not agree with the idea that going, they're delusional because they believe in a god, is an argument that I can have a rational back and forth with.
So, for what it's worth, I won't ask you to. That said, you saw what happened here with your own eyes. Those were Ganja, Barracudas, and armed Polycana members. They ganged up on us and tried to kill us. As far as Polycana goes, I say there's a lot you don't know about, and more where that came from. Now, with that in mind, if there's anything you forgot to tell us...
Yeah, that Dungeon sub-boss says, the Volcano God is likely based on Tutu Pele. I've probably pronounced that wrong, but yes,
We've been told that those who pilgrimage to Nele Island live in peace the rest of their days. As a result, many children here have been recognized as Haku and sent away. We've taught them they must keep the faith.
Okay, pronunciation wasn't terrible. Hurrah!
Haku too. Of course, this is
I wasn't so far off that it needed correcting.
However,
Hurrah.
a long time ago, I told Callan about an experience I had. Nele Island had welcomed one of our kids, but I later saw them right here in Honolulu.
Dana, you shouldn't.
Once you go to Nele Island, Polycana says you're there for the rest of your life, right?
Yes, so it shouldn't have been the case. At first, I thought maybe I was mistaken. Their face was totally different, after all. But still, they'd lived here for years and were practically family to me. The way they talked and behaved was...
Dandelion, I agree, but it's fair.
So, with that, I approached them.
I think that, yeah. Look, I'm not going to reignite it. I think that the idea that religious, if you are someone of religious belief, then you shouldn't be surprised if someone in your if your religion is misused. Is like, it just feels like a real not great argument.
That I had the wrong person.
But anyway, yeah.
We'll
stick with the game.
I do. I don't know the details, but my guess is they underwent some kind of surgery. I mean, changing your face is one thing, but your voice is another. I'd know that voice anywhere. Without a doubt, it was the same child I thought to be on Nele Island. I wanted to talk with them some more, but they ran off, almost as if they were trying to escape. I never saw them again.
So, wait, what's it all mean? The Nele Island kids are sneaking back under new identities or something?
Longtoe's story does line up if I remember right.
This dungeon sub-boss says, some of my family believed in Jesus and Pele because and nobody said they had to pick one.
And the Barracudas.
Oh yeah.
Spies. Dana, the kid you saw, what were they wearing that day?
They were in a police uniform.
Huh?
Bryce isn't just shipping his pawns off into Hawaii's gangs.
Yeah, the people that
He's
Bryce
got
is
probably got lawyers,
cultizing,
politicians,
he is
even
putting back out
businessmen.
into the world in
Anyone
positions of
who
power.
holds some kind of power.
Great way of doing a power
He's
grab.
built this over decades with tons of people.
Yeah.
Influence like that would give him control. over the
I'll
whole
say
state,
some other things
his own
about
network.
just my own personal experience with religion once we're done with this cutscene.
Wheelie
But
Island's like a training facility. Bryce gets his pawns geared up and ready to go, then sends them back here.
That can't be.
He's a monster, that Bryce.
yeah,
He's
he's
been
he's
using your
basically doing
beliefs
what
for
the
his
Christian
own
right wing
gain.
is currently doing, which is
What on
use
earth
religion
do you
as
know?
a
What
tool
are we
to get
supposed to
people
say to that?
sympathetic to your political beliefs into positions of power as a way to
You might have
strengthen
come to
your
terms with all this,
attempts to further your
I
political
just can't
goals.
do it. What's real? What's fake? I've got no idea. Even hearing all that, Palikana's teachings are all I know anymore. If they said I could go to Lele Island, I would go. I would want
The
to
oldie
go.
badger, I will read your comment in a
That's what
minute
I
when we're done with the
thought,
cutscene,
kids.
but I kind of agree
That's
with you.
what I believe.
Yeah.
As far as my faith's concerned, I choose to stand firm.
I need to get started on the children's dinner.
Some of them won't ever have anywhere else, you know. This place is their last bastion from the world
Yeah.
outside. If it's all right, for their sake, can you not mention any of this?
I
in
have
front
no
of them?
interest in, like...
Hang on a minute. You'd really send more kids out there? Even after everything we said?
The chosen children only get sent to the island twice a month, and that's at the very most. Either on the new moon or a full moon.
There's a couple of
Suffice
weeks
to
for us
say,
to
They won't be doing so
get on
for a
top of
while.
this. Don't worry the kids
We've
unnecessarily
gotta find a
and
Renaissance
sort
fast,
this before more
the
kids
next
get sent to
window
that
rolls around.
island. Yeah.
This orphanage needs answers, and we need to know if the island's safe. Maybe she'll have an idea or two, yeah?
Yeah, so you'll...
Mission's starting to pack on a
Almost
lot
there.
of weight. No wonder the Dragon of Dojima on the case.
I keep thinking we're done on the cutscene and going
If
to
we pull
jump
this
in.
off, we'll save more people than we know. Not a bad deal, if you ask me.
Yeah, so Yoldi Badger says, as an agnostic, I'd rather have people that need belief in their lives to have that belief and do good with it than not have any at all. It's the organisation and profit that causes the major issues. Yeah, so I've talked about this before. Like, I grew up religious. I grew up with a religious mother. I grew up attending church at the very least once a week, if not more. I used to do a lot of extracurricular stuff within the church. I used to run the lighting and sound desk at my local church. I was at the point where I was, like, you know, going to religious outreach events, you know, events where, like, at 3 a.m. we would be sat doing prayer in a big hall and people would be speaking in tongues and, like, you know, I was part of a Baptist Christian church, and I've talked about the fact that, like, I fell out of religious belief largely because of church attitudes towards homosexuality and, like, and transness and struggling with why would a god make me the way I am, but then tell his believers it's a sin for me to be who I am, and that was a major point of friction in religious belief for me. It was a big shaking point. But fundamentally, I don't think there is any problem. Like, I say this as someone who, like, at one point in my life, like, I considered going to, like, instead of going into traditional further education, going into religious further education and, like, doing theology as where I sort of went in life. The thing is that, like, I very much understand what religion can provide as a safety point in life. This answer to the things that are unknowable and are scary, and a guiding, some kind of guiding direction and some sort of light in scary times. And I even as someone that says, like, I don't believe in, you know, the Christian God anymore, that doesn't change the fact that, like, it's still, you know, there are still practices from religion I fall back on at times of difficulty. I don't know if I've ever talked about this publicly. When I was in hospital recovering from lower surgery, there was a point like 3 or 4 days into being in hospital where I was in so much pain. I hadn't slept in days. I was in agony. I was having like sleep paralysis and like night terrors. I was having some like real bad stuff going on, and I prayed, and I was like, I don't believe, but on the off chance there's something out there that can help, I'm fucking at the end of my rope at this point. And like, having fallen back on that even several years after having stopped, believing, I can understand what that was reaching for me in that time. And it's one of those things where, I found different answers in my life today to some of the answers to some of the big questions that previously I found religion to be the helpful answer for, but I am 100% not going to judge any, like, if I were to, I can rationalize all I want a lot of the experiences I had in church. Like, I can look at the fact that, like, there's a time when I was 17 where I spoke in tongues, but that was an event where I had been with a lot of church people for several days on end, was deliberately a little bit sleep deprived. It was like very late at night in a situation that was like a lot of factors were existing to sort of make behavior happen that might not otherwise have happened. I can logically say that, but I can also say I couldn't rule out the possibility that I would experience something in the future in my life that would make me believe in religion again. Like, that is, something I don't write off as a thing. The rituals can bring comfort even if you don't have the underlying belief. I think that's very fair, Dandelion. This dungeon sub-boss says, I'm just going to say, any belief can be used by charismatic opportunists, even non-religious beliefs. There's been a lot of leaders like that in stuff like labor movements, even among atheists. Yes, and I think that... again, you look at things like the anti-trans movement right now, and you can see a lot of the same sort of opportunistic grifting as a way to consolidate yourself in a position of power, existing in ways that mirror religion. I don't think it's unique to religion, but I think that religion... It's fair to acknowledge that religion is inherently going to be a little bit more prone to that because of the fact that someone in a position of power within a religion is often perceived as being proximate to a deific figure. And that kind of belief of you are closer to God than I am, or an equivalent belief, yeah, it can lead to positions where that is abused. I don't think it is fair to write off everyone within a religion as inherently delusional for believing in a religion because that is a risk. I think it is the people to be critical of in those situations are the people abusing that faith and that belief, rather than being judgmental of people who did not see it being weaponized against them. Because when you have a religious belief, and I, like, as someone that, like, I had experiences that for many years I believed were religious in nature, I do not think that, like, the right move, if I'd been misled into being into a cult by my, pastor within my church, hypothetically, I don't think criticizing me for believing this figure that I'd grown up being told was closer to God than I would necessarily be, I don't think it would necessarily be productive to criticize me for that. I think it would be more productive to criticize someone abusing that position of trust. But again, this is all sort of hypothetical, and like the point remains that Palicana, I think, is I want to write some stuff at some point about Palicana's representation in this game, because I do really like them. They are a religious group that the way they're represented is very much like, hey, we believe in a god, but we don't really do, like, prayer to that god. We don't really do rituals to do with it. We live a life that we think this would honor this god. And I really like this idea of a set of religious practices that really boil down to protect this place and protect its people. And like, there is very little room for negative interpretation of that. There is very little room for using those two guiding principles as an excuse to justify bad behavior in the way that a lot of religions sort of open themselves up to. I really like that Palikana's sort of mission statement is kept as simple as it is. It's protect the people, protect the land. And I think there is something really interesting to that, even if clearly it's not prone, free of potential corruption. Dandelion says, thank you for making this a safe space. There's a lot of places I feel unwelcome because of my belief, and I don't feel that way here. I'm glad you don't feel that way here. I definitely have no, like, I want to be really clear, like, my not having personal belief is it's my own journey, and it is a journey that I went through for my own reasons, and I can't help where I started or where I ended on it, but, like, so much of religious belief is, like, it boils down to, where did you grow up? What did your parents believe? What did the people around you believe? And I think that, like, as someone that was, like, gonna go into theology, it wasn't specifically studying Christianity. Like, I did a lot of research of a lot of religions for a long time, and I think there's a lot of really beautiful stuff across religions of what religion offers and what, at its best, it can be. And I think that it's a real shame that it's sometimes used opportunistically to further unfortunate goals, but I think that should not tar the reality of the experience people have, or the benefit that it can provide from the outside. But yeah, there we go. That's me having religious chat for like 20 minutes. Anyway, we're gonna just get through this cutscene and then we're gonna save.
Kiryu-san.
Welcome to the other half of Infinite Wealth.
Back in Japan already?
Welcome to the other half of the video game.
Almost thought I'd let you keep snoozing.
We finally unlocked the Japan half of the video game.
Anyway, just got an update from Ichiban. He said they nearly cornered the Sage of Palikana, but he ended up slipping away. And on top of that, Akane and Lonnie are still missing. Anything changes, he'll let us know right away.
Sounds good.
But as far as Hawaii goes, we're leaving that for him and the gang. Right now, you're seeing a doctor. Otherwise, you and I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I know.
Kiryu's actually gone to the fucking doctor.
Doctor.
Look at him go.
How's our guy holding up?
I'm sorry to say, but he's only getting worse. He seems to be aware of that himself. Honestly, I'm surprised he made it here on foot and not in an ambulance. The cancer's taken quite a toll on his body. He must have a will of iron to have pushed himself this far.
Is there really no hope for him left?
To improve his chances, I recommend giving him round-the-clock care as soon as possible. Or at the very least, some bed rest. Recuperating at home is another option.
Yeah, right. But knowing him...
Kiryu ain't gonna do bed rest.
He made it very clear he wasn't interested in any of that. And it is up to the patient to decide. All I can do as a physician is offer advice. Now, I imagine you've already done this, but if you could encourage him to start taking care of himself. Coming from a friend, his mind might change down the road.
Yeah, that's what you'd think.
Bed rest does suck.
Might not be my
but
place to say.
It is sometimes really fucking necessary.
It's almost like he's rushing to his death. I'm afraid there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's frustrating watching him do that to himself.
Kiryu is self-destructing a little.
He's got a strong mind, a stout heart, and what was once impeccable physique.
Yeah, I think recovering from lower surgery was probably the longest I ever stayed on bed rest. I think it was 8 days before I was properly walking. It was a good 8 days where I was barely able to get out of bed for about 8 days. And even then, it was a struggle beyond that, but yeah, that was...
Ugh, sorry, it's such a pigsty. I'll find you a better
could
place
barely
to hold
sit
up
up for
eventually.
about 8 days. Not a fun
No, I'd honestly rather stay put. Less eyes on me here than some hotel. After all, I'm not even supposed to exist out there.
Okay, so we're staying in Ichiban's apartment for a bit.
There's that. Hanawa-san actually told me a couple things. Like how I should call you Taichi Suzuki in public.
That's my name whenever shit hits the fan. Sorry if it's throwing you off.
No, I wouldn't say that. There is one thing, though.
What?
The doc was telling me earlier how you're not open to any treatment. Are you sure that's what you want? With all the recent advances in medicine, I'm sure you don't have much to lose by trying something. I can even ask around about options, things that are proven to help with cancer.
Drop it. I've already heard enough. The Daidoji faction researched my condition to hell and back and found nothing.
Yeah, down the line, I can only imagine.
Not like I haven't tried anything.
Gotta love bodies, huh?
Myself together.
In being
until Akane and the girl
being how they are.
But right in the thick of it, my body gave up on me. Guess I was a fool to hope.
Kiryu-san.
Kiryu, you can't just pretend the cancer's not happening and hope it'll go away. You can't do that. Like, unless you go and get treatment for the cancer's not just gonna stop being a problem. You can't just, like, I'll just fight my way through these enemies and ignore it. It'll be fine.
Mind if I come in?
Go ahead.
You know, I was hoping you would rest, not work yourself to the bone. I'm serious here. Why else would you come all the way back to Japan?
I just thought it wouldn't kill me to lend some support from the sidelines. Now, I've been looking into Polycana. Sure you can guess how that's going.
I really did want a side quest in this game where... And I know there's no way for this to work, but emotionally I wanted a side quest in this game where Ichiban and the gang shrink down to microscopic size and go in a tiny little ship into Kiryu's body to fight the cancer cells. I know that would make no sense and that would not fit this game, but emotionally I wanted that to be a side quest.
A dumpster fire, ain't it? But hey, I'm sure Achan will figure something out. Look, I'm all for supporting the team, Kiryu-san, but sometimes that means knowing when to take the bench.
Incompetent Hero, here's what you missed. Kiryu
Don't
is
waste
back in
your
Japan.
breath, Namba.
Kiryu's back in Japan with Namba. That they're gonna have a whole separate second Yakuza game happening. The guy in charge of Polycana is making his own little cult. We started doing friendship stuff with Adachi. That's basically what you missed.
It's impossible to talk him out of anything.
Oh hey, it's one of the
Namba.
people from the last game.
Is this your doing?
Yeah, I happen to bring some company.
Welcome
But don't
to
worry,
another party
she's a face you
member
can trust.
from the Japan
The moment
crew.
you turn your back on him, that laptop's gonna be wide open. Even if all he does is type in circles.
You brought Komi Jewel's leader?
Yeah, why not? Sunhee's an old friend. And apparently the Queen of Ijincho. She runs the Liumang now, too.
In other words, we're all outcasts here. And don't flatter yourself. You're not the only one I know who's dead on paper. So relax. I'm sure the Daidoji people won't give you too much grief about me.
The leader of the Gomi Jewel and the Liumang.
Why are you here?
Just thought I'd save a dying man the trouble of paying me a visit. Besides, in our world, you're pretty much the top of the food chain. And in that sense, the privilege is all mine. Surely that's reason enough.
Hey, it's not like I ratted you out to her. She just caught wind of you first. Like a spider to the fly.
I remember. Nothing happens in this town without the Komi Jewel knowing it first, huh?
Mind if I take a seat? I brought some of the best Korean
Incompetent
medicine money
Hero,
can
look,
buy.
whether you're into Sionhi or Namba, you know, I won't judge your Rawuga either way.
Sign off on that for him.
Well, it's not every day a dragon comes to town. And what better way to pay my respects? That doesn't surprise me. Kasuga's gonna be Kasuga no matter where he goes. I wonder how he draws so many people to his side. Is it that heroic charm of his?
Yeah, Sionhee, I
Heroic
like her
charm.
look a lot. She's
You may be onto something.
Yeah. He does have this certain effect on you. But the more you're around him, the more you can't help but help him. Silly as it sounds, he might just be a real hero.
Oh,
Just don't tell
Ichiban
me
is a
so.
real hero.
He'll be over the moon for weeks.
Oh, Kiryu's great in the early games.
What?
I think he's like in his
I have something in my face.
20s in Zero.
Kiryu-san, let me ask you.
He's been through a
What's
lot.
your all-time favorite food?
Why food all of a sudden?
I'll put it another way. If you were about to die,
Which you
what
are.
would you want to eat right before? Let's call it your last supper.
Sunhee, what is with you right now? Is that really the way to ask?
It doesn't bother me.
The awful things
But
I'd
now
let
that
that
you
man do
mention
to me.
What would be a good last meal?
You see there? Nobody takes that long just to think up their favorite food.
What's your point?
I'm saying your complete lack of an answer only shows how little time you've spent on yourself.
Yeah, welcome to Kiryu's bucket list.
You've always lived your life for someone else. You even spent a decade in prison so your sworn brother wouldn't have to.
Really? He did that?
The crime he took the fall for was patricide. After you got out, you ended up losing Yumi Sawamura, so you took her daughter Haruka under your wing. And now, here you are faking your own death, all to protect your loved ones. But with the real thing on the horizon, why not use these precious last days for yourself?
You do have a point there, Sunhee. And I agree. The thing is, I can't help but wonder.
Yeah. Why do you care so much about me anyway?
There are a lot like you in the Komi Jewel. See, we once served the Jingon Mafia, who had absolute authority over our lives. But even with them long gone, their oppression still lingers in many of our hearts. I've seen too many of us waste away in fear and regret until there's nothing left. It kills me every time.
Well, I don't remember asking for your guidance.
True? But while you're in my town, you're on my turf.
See, yeah, this isn't like the whole
if I
thing.
let the Dragon of Dojima die full of
But-
regrets, I'd never stop
Yeah,
kicking
the-
myself
the-
in the ass.
You've really got away with
We're
words.
making an entire half
Well, I
of
look
this
like I'm
game
that
now
close to death's
Kiryu's
door.
bucket list.
Come on.
Let's go
I
do
wouldn't say
everything
that.
Kiryu has ever wanted
But
to
from
do
here
in
on
life.
out, it really wouldn't hurt to focus on some self-care. At least, I think that's what
Let's
Sunhee's
go
getting at.
sort all of Kiryu's
Yeah, more or less.
unfinished side quests from all the past Yakuza games.
Easier said than done. What would you guys do in my shoes?
Huh? What would I do?
Yeah, let's hear it. Don't tell me you can't come up with something on the spot.
I can. Now, let's see. Actually, I'd probably go unwind at the batting center. Hitting the ball's a bit like therapy, especially after Jungi gives me sass.
I don't know. I'd rather not put Kiryu-san through anything strenuous. Right now, the man needs rest more than anything.
Oh, for crying out loud. I'm not gonna collapse from batting.
Good. Then let's go score a few home runs.
Now?
Yeah,
Come
welcome
on,
to
it's now or
Kiryu's
never.
Kiryu's
Besides, the night is
side
young and
quest,
there's plenty
side
to do.
story,
Kicking things off with baseball sounds like the start of a good
revisiting
send-off to me.
NPCs.
You're really serious.
This is Kiryu's, all of Kiryu's shit's gonna go on over here.
A night on the town will be good for you. Not like you were gonna lie.
So yeah, this
out
game
there,
is
right?
going to become a game of two halves. It's going to be half a game about
All
going
right,
to
you got
find
me.
out where Ichiban's mum is
But there's
and
still some drink
defeat
left.
the cult that sort of formed
Don't
within
tell me
that
the
religious
legendary
group.
dragon's concerned over a few drops of
And half of it's
alcohol.
gonna be,
Okay, from now on, if you're ever thirsty,
What if
I'll
we-
be the one to pour.
what if we just do a lot
when you've
of
been in the business as long as I
a lot of
have,
sweet side
it's
quests
nice
for
to finally
Kiryu, so
share a
Kiryu
glass on
can.
equal terms.
What if Kiryu could just have a
And
minute to do
be
what he
honest here.
wanted?
Would you rather get tipsy with me or Nanba?
Well, when you put it that way.
Oh, now
Shagtastic says, honestly, there needs to be more games that are just this is a road trip. That's not entirely this half of the game.
And don't forget it.
But it kind of is. It kind of is just Kiryu's road trip. We're gonna go make a group of party members and unlock Kiryu's road trip adventure. So yeah. We're now back in the setting from the first Like a Dragon, but also the location that you're in Yakuza 0, in the Kiryu bits of Yakuza 0 at the start of that, I believe.
I'm fine.
I'm trying to remember if you go to the place from the man who erased his name, but the other location is there. But basically, hey, all of the locations from all of the past Japan set Yakuza games, all of those are available now. All of those map locations are back in play. And you know how Hawaii was like really densely packed with content?
Folks, can we ask you guys something?
The Japan maps are just as densely packed.
Oh, we just happened to lose.
This game just doubled its density and size of content.
Hey, Miss Queen of Ijincho.
We just added like 2 more Japan maps that are just as densely full of stuff as Hawaii.
And in true idiot fashion, they're embarrassing
Also,
me
this
in front
is
of my guests.
I want to do this before we
Worst
finish
possible
because
timing, too.
You don't have to feel embarrassed. They're also a plague where I'm
I
from.
think this is the last thing I wanted to do this stream.
You gonna give us your money or
So,
what?
as a reminder, the JRPG battles and like people transforming in battles only happens because Ichiban is imagining being a Dragon Quest hero. So Ichiban's not in the party for the first time in one of these games. So I'll put that information out there for a second.
Screw it! Let's just skip to the violence. Good thinking.
Kiryu-san, we'll handle it from here.
Excuse me?
I already know what you're gonna say. Don't waste your energy on these knuckleheads. You're gonna need that energy later. For having the most damn fun you've ever had.
Right, and didn't I just say, you're in my town, which makes you my honored guest, and it's a host's responsibility to clean things up.
You guys.
On that note, it's time to take out the trash. Get ready for some middle-aged whoop-ass.
But they're still transforming.
What are they?
Kiryu-san, what's wrong? Feeling woozy?
Kiryu is summoning the Persona text boxes.
Don't know what I'm seeing.
Previously, Ichiban was the only person to see the transformations, or to see these text boxes. Kiryu's seeing them now.
Huh?
Wait a minute. This must be what Kasuga was saying. About how his enemies would turn into monsters.
Hold up. So now it's not just Ichiban hallucinating?
You boys can talk nonsense some other time. We're in a fight here.
We'll do the fight, but...
I appreciate your concern, both of you. But letting others fight my battles has never been my thing.
I was so excited when this happened.
Besides, I could use a warm-up with cages.
Kiryu's doing it too.
Try not to overdo it, okay?
Oh, incompetent hero, don't worry. We will vaguely address it in a minute, and it's gonna be great.
Here we go.
Okay. You want some? What's this? It's showtime!
We'll get this fight out of the way, and I'm sure they will have a conversation about what is occurring. Yes, Namba and Sion here are basically just assuming, hey, look, is the cancer really doing a number on you? Are you seeing shit now? It's like, no. No, I'm just finally understanding what it means to be a Dragon Quest hero. I'm finally learning from Ichiban, you see? Yoni Badger says, Wishlist did this now. Good grief, lol, so much. I am glad that I seem to have sold a few people on this game tonight. This game is something special. It's ridiculous in all of my favorite ways. Yes, the, being a Dragon Quest hero is contagious. You can catch it.
Yeah, thanks.
Shagtastic says I've been sold to try the entire series. Hell yes. More people getting into Yakuza.
If anything, it's the other way around.
I mean it, though. Really.
I gotta play 7 first, but I might
wasn't for
literally
you
use the Suji Rat money to
matter
buy infinite wealth. Incompetent Hero, if that's how it ends up shaking out, then I'm glad that the world worked out that way.
I've seen through Kasuga's eyes.
Oh?
He's seeing through
When he first told me
Ichiban's
about it,
eyes.
I didn't believe him. But having allies at your side changes how you view the world. It really does make you feel like a hero.
The reason Kiryu never saw the JRPG systems before is because he was fighting as a loner. He didn't have friends by his side. He has friends now. He has an adventuring party, and that's made him go, "Oh, yeah, Ichiban talked about being like an adventuring game hero," and it suddenly clicked in his head, and now Kiryu's seeing the adventure game. He's got party members. He's the hero, and he has friends, and therefore he's got the power of friendship, so he sees the JRPG. I love that explanation so much.
What the heck? So the battle visions are limited to you and Ichiban? Guess that's something special then, huh?
What, you'd rather be hallucinating monsters too?
Maybe not so much. Well, in any case,
Kiryu finally let himself have friends, and now he sees everything as JRPG too. Due to Kasuga's influence, enemies will also appear differently in battle to Kiryu. Kiryu got cancer, then learned to embrace his inner child. Honestly, kind of inspiring. Right, such a good use of the power of friendship. Yeah, we gotta go to the place that'll let us power up, build our weapons and stuff. Cool. So there's now we've now got access to this map with all of the, friendship, conversation points you can see around here that have all opened up, and a whole bunch of side quests and minigames and things that are going to be happen here. We now have a different party screen and stuff. We're gonna pause for now. I'm gonna call it a night. We'll be back on Friday, streaming some more Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. We will continue Kiryu's side of the adventure. We won't be in Hawaii for a little while, but we'll get back there eventually. Yes, he's got the Segway. They let him bring the Segway back to Japan. Incompetent Hero says, I thought you were maybe pushing the cancer prediction a little hard, but then the game came out and it's literally the plot. Yeah, it's literally, hey, Kiryu, slow the fuck down. You've got cancer. Maybe, like, enjoy life a little bit and stop trying to push yourself, and maybe just take a minute to do the things that you've not really ever let yourself have a chance to do. Maybe just have, like, a few things for you, Kiryu. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, that was a segue. We have a segue. Yeah, Shagtastic, sorry, yeah, there's so many things happen in this game. I forget what things... Some things just become normal after a while. But yeah, thank you... Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you now understand what I meant when I said this game's scope and scale is ridiculous. I'm gonna go get some sleep, but I will be back streaming on Friday. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Goodbye. Goodbye.